This podcast is brought to you by JList.com. Right now on JList.com, they have tons of new anime figures available. They have Zero Two from Darling in the Franxx. They have Nemomiya from Amanchu Advance. They have Gary and Blastoise from Pokemon. They have a Kratos Nendoroid from God of War, and literally hundreds, maybe thousands more. I can't count them all. It's too much. So if you want to get a new anime figure and you just need to have something fresh and new for your collection or your desk at work, head over to JList.com, and I'm sure that you'll be able to find whatever it is that your heart desires. And now, it's time to start the podcast.
Anime Addicts Anonymous のライブブロードキャスト聞かないと泣いちゃうよ。You are listening to the Anime Addicts Anonymous podcast. Make your anime addiction worse at AAAPodcast.com. And now, here are your anime addicts.
Hello and welcome to the 419th episode of the Anime Addicts Anonymous podcast, where we are dedicated to making your anime addiction worse. I am your host, Mitsugi, and I am hailing live from St. Petersburg, Florida on this wonderful day. And I am joined by two beautiful people that are hopefully enjoying nice weather. I am unsure, but we'll find out maybe. We are joined by Enzo, the beautiful and the ever naked, hailing from New York City. How are you, my friend?
Hey, what's up, man? I'm doing great. New York's weather is pretty nice and cool. It's nice and cool outside. Nice
cool.
Breeze. It's a nice breeze, yeah.
Okay, and how's the construction work today?
It's very light. Hopefully, we will only have sirens going off from the nearby police station, and that's all.
All right. Well, we will.
Sorry in advance.
We'll keep our fingers crossed, and of course, definitely never forgotten. We have the luscious, the ever video game playing, the mythology-rich Mandy hailing from Cincinnati. And how are you? And how is your weather?
Hello. I think it's good.
Okay.
I haven't been outside today. I woke up and I did stuff around my apartment, and now I'm here. Hello.
It's nice with a 50% chance of sirens.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh no wait. That was Enzo.
Not here, no.
That's just me.
And of course. So guys, if you want to find our website, you can do it at www.AAAPodcast.com. AAAPodcast.com/join is where you can head to get all of our exclusive content. We now have 105 hobby addicts, 100 plus hentai episodes, and probably 200 after parties, which nets you a total of 400 plus exclusive podcasts that nobody except you will be able to listen to, so you'll never get bored of things at work. So if you head over to AAAPodcast.com/join, you can get that. Mandy and I just finished talking about all the awesome video games that we've been playing, which included Ni no Kuni, The Desire, but the not yet played God of War game, and also a lot about Original Sin Divinity 2. So we recommend that you head over there to our Hobby Addicts and check that out. And Kazuo should be very excited today.
He should be rejoicing wherever he is.
He's not here, but he should be excited because now, if you go to the website, AAAPodcast.com, on the top bar of the site, you literally cannot not find it. That's a double negative. It is impossible to miss. There is a button that will take you straight to our Discord. So you no longer have to go to the Facebook and dig through the About page and harass Kazuo and have him threaten to murder you. Like that no longer has to happen. You simply go to the website, to the top bar, you click the Discord button, and boom, you're in. Boom.
We stole his moment. We stole Kazuo's moment. He was so excited to announce this.
Well,
that's what he gets for not being here.
He's not here, so what can you do?
What can you do? I mean, he'll ride the high from this for years to come.
I mean, we'll probably announce it next week just for him, so he can like celebrate and do a little dance.
Yeah.
It'll be
But
good.
if you can't find that button, direct your
Oh.
questions to @Kazuo.
Yes, yes, that's true.
If for some reason your site is
If you
impaired that
cannot
day,
find that
please
button.
reach out to @AAAPodcast on all social media. Thank you.
That's true. That's true. I recommend that.
He's going
You're
to kill
welcome.
us.
And on this episode, we're going to be doing a topic, myths and legends you'd like to see get an anime adaptation, which was suggested by none other than the infamous IcyRose, who tends to propose very nice topic suggestions. So I know that Mandy will be loving that. That's right. That is literally a topic made for Mandy.
It's up my alley.
Yeah, you could say that.
It's not
It's
up
my
mine.
Jimmy Jams.
Oh, Enzo.
I'm bad at this. I'm sorry in advance.
Oh, goodness. We're also doing a lot of impressions. We're going to be doing Wotakoi, Love is Hard for Otaku, Full Metal Panic, Invisible Victory, Golden Kamui, Waka Okami wa Shogakuse, and Hisone Tomaso-tan. So we have all of that for you on this episode. So are we ready to jump right in? Are we ready to?
Yeah.
Are we ready to kick?
Yeah. Let's do it.
Are we ready to
Yeah,
kick some
yeah,
ass?
yeah. Let's do it, man.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right, go team. Let's get this shit rolling.
大ニュースです。It's time for big news of the week.
Okay, when I saw this news last night,
Oh my God.
I almost died on the spot. And Kazuo's not here, but I can't imagine him not agreeing. So I think we need to make a pact, and we'll get to that in a minute. But
Okay.
Studio Ghibli is opening a theme park in Japan near Nagoya in 2022.
Oh my God. Dude. So I've heard rumors of this in the past.
Yeah, me too.
But this sounds like it's for real now.
Like it's legit.
Let's see where Nagoya is. I don't think I've ever been to Nagoya, so that would be a cool trip for me for two reasons. Nagoya is
same here.
halfway between Tokyo and Osaka. So
we went past it.
we did. We probably
At some
went. We
point.
probably stopped at it on the bullet train on the way to
Right.
Kansai. So
Right.
there's got to be a lot of stuff to do around there. But I mean, just a Studio Ghibli theme park. Seriously,
Yeah, I mean, I that it's just like impossible for me not to smile while even thinking about the concept. Listen, like the museum alone that we went to made me bawl my eyes out just from the nostalgia trip. I
Yep.
don't even know what my body's gonna do when I step into this park. Like, I don't even like. Will I be able to ride anything? Because I might just be on the floor crying.
oh
Yeah, have they said like what's gonna be in there yet?
they have. There are some details.
Yes.
So, set to open in 2022 near Nagoya. I don't know who funded this, but I can't imagine. There's no way Ghibli funded it all on their own. It's just too expensive. But I'm sure they were. I highly doubt they had trouble finding investors, but if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think they suffered in that regard at all.
Yeah, definitely not. Studio Ghibli is planning on having some of the following rides. They haven't detailed everything, obviously, but there are a couple of details. Rides and forest trails based on My Neighbor Totoro, Kiki's Delivery
Yes.
Service, and House Moving
Yes.
Castle.
Yes. Wow. I'm in. Sign me up.
The park will also contain the European-themed brick towers that appear frequently in Miyazaki's works. We all know he loves European-looking stuff.
Yeah.
Giant installations of spiders and boar-shaped spirits in imaginary landscapes that evoke Japan's mythical and idyllic past. So, the construction costs and other details have yet to be decided, which came from the Aichi official government. So, oh my God, where do we even
Oh
begin?
my God, indeed. I don't even.
Oh man.
Where should we begin? So should we begin at this is a must for all Ghibli fans, right?
It's
Yes
a
or
must.
no?
Well,
It's a must.
here's the thing, right? Like, I feel like even if you're an anime fan who hasn't watched Ghibli movies, you're a Ghibli fan anyway. You just don't know it yet, because it's like impossible to watch.
I tend to not agree with those kind of statements, but in this case, I don't think I can possibly disagree. I
How
agree.
could you hate Totoro?
How,
He's too
how could you
cute.
hate young Totoro? You know what I'm saying?
It's like if you watch Totoro and you watch Spirited Away and you watch Princess Mononoke, and you sit there and you look me in the eye and you legitimately say I hated all three of those movies, then like just quit
You'd be
watching
my
anime.
mom.
Don't watch anime then. Like it's these movies are unbelievable. I mean, especially Princess Mononoke for me is just like world shaking. So
Yeah.
to be able to like to be able to go on a ride or like walk through a section of the park that looks like Lady Eboshi's Irontown, like I will literally collapse and like just cry. Probably.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I feel like walking into this place, only one or two things can happen. Either I get my shit together and I can ride everything with you guys, or I just collapse and can't
I was
do
gonna
anything.
say, I can't wait to ride that cat bus ride, but man, I'm gonna puke. Because I have really bad motion sickness. I have to like drug myself.
Would you still ride everything though? Would you? Would
I mean,
you
I'll
say
try.
that the puke is worth it?
I rode the Harry Potter ride at Universal, and oof, I threw up afterwards.
Well, that's worth it though.
It was worth it. But,
Okay.
Oof.
So this is nowhere near Mount Fuji. Mount Fuji has an amazing theme park at the base of it called Fuji-Q Highland that has some of the best roller coasters in the world.
I actually didn't know that. I didn't know that at all.
Every roller coaster at Fuji-Q Highland held a record of some kind at some point. They built every coaster with the goal of breaking a record. So every coaster there has a record. So like there is that, but I don't know if they will have any roller coasters at the Ghibli theme park, but if they do, I guess Mandy says she's going to ride them anyway. I don't know.
I'll ride them. I have to chug myself first.
I mean, can't you take like isn't there like Dramamine or something that can prevent motion sickness?
I brought it with me when we went to Japan, and I took it every time just before we got on the train, and it worked.
Yeah, just double down on Dramamine. I mean, you'll be okay. Probably.
And just got to hold my hair when I puke.
Oh yeah, you know I got you, bro.
Oh, thank you. I thought you were gonna shut me down.
Good lord.
Why would I do that to a good friend, huh?
Oh.
So this park, if you've ever been to Universal Studios Islands of Adventure, this park to me feels like it would be fitting for this kind of setup that Islands of Adventure has, where they have different sections of the park are heavily themed on different things. So there's like if you've never been there, there's a Dr. Seuss section. There's a Harry Potter section. There's a Marvel Comics section. There's just it's separated out. There's a Jurassic Park section. On and on and on and on, right? And the Ghibli movies are so atmospheric. Like they're great movies, but if you step back and look at them, the world building is also amazing. Like the world of Nausicaa, and the world of Key's Delivery Service, and the world of Princess Mononoke, and the world of Spirited Away. These are all like completely different worlds that are rich. Yeah. They're rich with visuals and just atmosphere. I mean, you could literally have a park section for the Forest of the Spirits in Princess Mononoke. You could have
that'd be so cool.
You could have the literal townscape from Howl's Moving Castle with the cobblestones and all of the bright awnings and stuff.
Yeah, I want to go inside like an airship from Nausicaa, like the big blimp.
Yeah,
like the big blimps. I would love to go inside one of those.
Yeah, you could ride. Yeah, exactly. I mean, there's no end. They can't even. There's so many different environments that they could create. I'm sure they don't even have the money to do it all. I mean, you could have a whole section that is like you're going through the bathhouse from Spirited Away. I mean, come on now.
Oh,
I mean, that
man.
alone is just crazy.
That alone gets me so hard. Like I would love to do that because of the experience we already had when we went to that bathhouse in Japan, Mitts.
Mm-hmm.
I would love to go to like an actual like Spirited Away bathhouse. That would blow my mind.
All right, so I want to ask each of you a question, and then I think we should maybe make a pact. If
we're making a blood oath right now.
We might make a blood oath. All right. Okay. So my question to you is, based on your knowledge of Ghibli, come up with one Ghibli ride that you'd like to see at the park.
Okay.
Oh, cat bus.
Okay, so cat bus, but like, what is it? Well, what is that going to be for you?
It's going to be a roller coaster. It's just going to be, like, the train is going to look like the cat bus. And you sit in it, and it's like a roller coaster.
So
this is so hard, but I kind of have an idea.
And so the member of the podcast who gets motion sick just proposed a roller coaster.
I know, I love it, but that's classic Mandy, though.
I mean, okay,
very true.
You asked for it.
Okay, Mandy, you have to ride it, you know.
I think you're in now. Okay, all right. Well, yeah. I mean, I'm down for that for sure.
Yeah, I'm down as hell. I would love that. Yeah, I love anything.
Actually, it would be really. I'm sorry. It would be really cool though if they had a ride like on rails where you go through like the forest in Princess Mononoke, and they have like I'm trying to think, would they be like animatronics of like the beasts and just kodamas everywhere, and they light up, and you can ride it at night?
Yes.
Oh,
full dark kodamas. I want it.
and they
they're
shake
so
and
cute.
it
I
sounds
want 'em.
creepy as hell.
Little
I
kids
think
will have
they're so
nightmares
cute.
for years.
Yeah.
Enzo, what's your ride? Come on.
My ride would be you hop on a. So have you guys ever been to like a Universal a long time ago, the Back in the Future ride, where you hop into the car and,
Oh, yeah.
and you go through like a ride on a projector in front of you?
Well, that's what
Like
all.
the Transformer one?
Yeah.
Is it like the Transformer one?
Yeah, I mean that ride. I don't think that ride's there anymore. But what I'm saying is like
Oh, okay.
It's not.
a ride where you go into a room and all the walls of the room are like a screen, and what you get on is a plane from Nausicaa, and then you simulate like one of those like fighting like those air battle scenes from Nausicaa, and that's what the ride is.
That sounds pretty cool. Yeah.
I want that really bad.
And,
Wow.
that technology exists. Like if you've been to Universal
Totally.
lately, they're like
Dude, VR.
Yeah, the Kong ride is almost VR. It's pretty impressive, to be honest.
Yeah, we put on those VR goggles and stuff, and then you're all of a sudden you're flying on. Imagine having VR goggles on and you're flying in a world that looks like that is the Ghibli art style.
Oof.
Imagine
I
them,
don't want to imagine this right now.
imagine them putting a VR headset on you and having you ride a roller coaster where you can feel the roller coaster, but your visuals are a Ghibli world.
Yeah. Wow.
I mean,
Wow,
come on now,
dude.
right?
Holy shit. Yeah.
So, all right.
Wow, I want it.
I have two sort of ideas. One is for the ladies, and one is for everybody.
Okay.
The ladies one would be like dancing on the rooftops with Hal. The scene from Howl's Moving Castle where Sophie and Hal are kind of skipping along the
Right.
rooftops.
I would do that. What the hell?
I could see like that just melting. I guess a lot of women who watch Howl's Moving Castle have like a huge crush on Hal, right?
Yeah.
So
My roommates all do.
exactly,
Aw.
right? I think it's pretty common. I know Chiaki did. So that would be like a very special experience for the ladies, I think. But like the thing I really want is for them to have an onsen at the park that is modeled. The inside of it is modeled as a Spirited Away bathhouse, and you legit like do the onsen, like the sauna and the baths and stuff. But like
Right.
in the bath, they'll have like a giant statue of like the spirits from the bathhouse. So it's like you're bathing with the spirits.
That's cool. Or like having statues in the water with you.
That's what I mean. Yeah.
Also?
Yeah,
Oh yeah,
like
yeah.
You put your arm around No Face or something.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. Oh my god, if I could take a picture of No Face naked. Oh, wow.
Whoa. He's like, yeah.
Dude,
And
that'd be so sick.
I picture with No Face clothed. I guess so, but naked,
naked.
I'm in. Oh shit. Okay, so let's make if this podcast still exists in 2022,
Okay.
I propose a pact that we must create a Japan trip for ourselves
Oh,
and the
dude.
listeners, in which we go to Japan and go to the Spirited Away park.
All right, dude. I'm
What do you
in.
say us?
I say I agree with our
Mhm,
Lord
me
saying to
too.
the Pope. Yes.
All right, so a blood pact is forming. I'm biting my finger.
Yeah. Hold on. Me too.
I'm doing that too, huh?
I'm slicing
Okay.
my hand open.
All right,
can't
I'm
see
sticking
it.
my finger onto your imaginary
Ow,
finger.
ow. Okay. Okay. I'm putting my palm against both your fingers because it's bleeding a lot.
And I will play now 2 drops of excitement for our pact. Here's the first one,
すごいすごいです
and here's the children screaming.
To a blood.
Okay, it's done. The blood pact is now official. Kazuo is not here, so we can leave him behind if we choose to. But
We'll give a spot to a listener.
Someone
right.
has to take care of Discord.
anything else other than mass hysteria and excitement for this?
No, just the hypothetical potentially going to a Ghibli world is amazing. I'm so excited already.
Okay, let's move on to the next thing. Whoops.
Prepare for trouble!
Make it double. Shut up! You haven't had one useful thing to say since you got here.
There's just a crap load of like new anime stuff coming out. So
It's a good thing.
Yeah. So a couple popular mangas are continuing their serialization. The first one is Noragami.
that's exciting.
Yes.
Noragami went on hiatus in February of 2017 due to the creator's illness. But Kodansha's Weekly Shonen magazine announced that it will be continuing its serialization in July 2018. So there are 18 volumes out. So those of you that follow Noragami, I guess Mandy does.
Yeah,
Yes,
Mandy, I
I'm
know
so
you
excited
love that.
Because the
yeah.
last manga left off on a terrible cliffhanger, and I was mad. So
There you go.
please give me my next manga, please.
So Noragami's coming back. And which, I mean, maybe means we'll get to have another anime. I mean, it's pretty damn good, so that would be exciting. Also, Rurouni Kenshin Meiji Kenkaku Romantan Hokkaido Hen is resuming its serialization. That manga by Nobuhiko Watsuki and Kaoru Kurosaki is going to resume its serialization also in July. And that manga went on hiatus last December because Watsuki got arrested for child prostitution and pornography.
Oh man, I read a lot about this.
Good God.
Actually, Jesus.
But apparently that's done with now, and he has merely been ordered to pay a fine of 200,000 yen, which is
not enough, in my opinion.
What is that? 200,000 yen is like $2,000.
$2,000? Yeah, right.
Something yeah.
like,
so
okay, here you go.
Don't buy his manga.
I mean, you didn't realize how rich that guy is. Like $2,000 to him is like $3 to us.
Dude, that's to him. That's like he never got in trouble. Like that's such dumb shit. Honestly, they shouldn't even let him continue writing this fucking manga. But whatever, it's happening.
I don't want to say that because I don't know exactly the details of what he did. You know, maybe it wasn't that bad. I don't know, but I mean, it's hard to say that when you. It's hard to say not that bad and child pornography in the same sentence, but
right.
I mean, maybe
I did some research and he was caught with DVDs and apparently saying that he likes children at a certain age.
oh, that's so cringe. Holy fuck.
Okay. And what age would that be?
I don't remember, but I can look it up again.
2 whole years old.
I'm not saying either is okay, but there's a big difference between I like 5-year-olds and I like 17-year-old girls who are like have their birthday next week. I don't know. They're both bad, I guess, but one is probably obviously worse. Anyway.
Yeah, I think if those are the two options, one is definitely way worse than the other.
So yes, I share surprise that he is allowed to continue existing as a member of society. I wonder how this will hurt his manga sales. I'm guessing not very much.
Me too. Yeah. I think that will say a lot about the gravity of an issue like this in Japan, because if he continues to succeed, then I guess people don't give a fuck.
Well,
it says on the it said on the article he was quoted saying, "I like girls from the upper grades of elementary school to around the second year of junior high."
Oh,
okay,
Jesus.
That's not good.
All right, that's not good.
Wow, that is.
Oh my God.
God, why? All right.
What bothers me is the thought of the manga sales going to pay for that $2,000 he paid.
That's exactly like that's
what hurts
so dumb. Like he should be doing time or something.
Exactly.
I don't know, because money is not a thing for this man.
Yep.
Oh, that's a shame.
Well, all right. Well, regardless, I'm happy both mangas are coming back. I hate to feel like I have to hate Rurouni Kenshin now just because the manga artist is.
I'm with you there.
Because it is good.
Because I love Rurouni Kenshin too.
I still have all mine.
I love Kenshin. I think he's an amazing character.
Me too. He's great.
So,
he truly is great. Like I don't think I can stop loving Kenshin.
So just because
this is a bummer.
Just because the creator is a creep doesn't mean Kenshin's a creep. So I'm gonna try to separate that in my mind and just be happy the manga's coming back.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'll do my best to separate the two as well because I love Kenshin so much.
Any other comments? All right, I'm gonna play another drop, but we just have more of the same. So here we go.
It's time for hot new anime releases.
I just realized that I'm supposed to be moving us down to the board here on the.
I was gonna say something.
There, I moved it down twice. I got this. I'm doing too many things. All right, so now we had 2 manga, and now we have 2 animes. 2 new animes coming out. Shirobako is getting an anime film.
Hell yeah.
Nice.
Hell yeah, dude.
PA Works is starting production on the film. Does not have a release date yet. They're having a lot of returning staff. The director, Tsutomu Mizushima, is coming back. The studio is PA Works again. It's the same. The scriptwriter is Michiko Yokote, who is the same. The character designer is Poncon8. I don't know what the hell that is. And the article said that it is not a retelling of the anime. It is a continuation of the anime, which is a big difference.
Yeah, huge difference. I'm glad that the director's coming back because I think that director did a really good job at giving each character like a good time to like make their impact in the anime, which is cool. So I'm glad that person's coming back.
Do we all like Shirobako?
Yeah. I love Shirobako. That's like my slice of of good shit right there.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So yeah, I'm excited. I normally don't watch anime movies. It's better from anime TV series, so I have a feeling I probably won't watch this just because I know how I am. But I'm excited because I know a lot of people will watch it and will enjoy it. And Shirobako deserves more content. It was, a lot. There's some of these shows that get like season after season. I feel like aren't that good. But Shirobako is a great anime. It was amazing, and it deserves more content. So happy about that, for sure. Also, this other thing that I wrote down that I have no idea what this is. Yagate Kimi ni Naru is getting an anime. The synopsis: Yu has always loved shoujo manga and awaits the day she gets a love confession that sends her heart aflutter with bubbles and blushes. And yet, when a junior high classmate confesses his feelings to her, she feels nothing. Disappointed and confused, she enters high school, still unsure of how to respond. That's when Yu sees the beautiful student council president, Nanami, turn down his suitor with such maturity that she's inspired to ask her for help. But when the next person to confess to Yu is Nanami herself, has her shoujo romance finally begun?
Dude, sign me up. That is the kind of trash that I'm about.
This I was thrown off by the Japanese title, but the English title of the manga is actually Bloom Into You, and we've had this on our list for Manga Club for a while.
Okay, well there you go. So
this sounds like my type of dumb, silly, cute, lovey shit.
Apparently the manga is very popular.
Well, now you guys can watch the anime and do a manga club about the manga while you're watching it. So
yeah, we should do that.
Yeah, I'm probably gonna bump this up because it's been on my list. We never got to it because I've been trying to space out our genres.
All right, so I want to just take a minute here, and I'm talking directly to every listener who's listening to this.
Okay.
I want you to pay attention. This is another reason for you to go to the website and click that button on the top bar and join the Discord so you can join the manga club and have manga time with Mandy.
Yeah.
So get to it.
If for any other reason, just to talk to Mandy, really, come on.
We have a lot of fun too.
I'll make you a deal. If you don't do that, I'm gonna record a drop of Mandy crying, and I'm gonna play that drop. And you have to listen to that and feel sad. All right, so the director.
I'll cry as Jigglypuff.
Yes. Oh my God. Okay. Do I still have that drop? Let me see, where is this? Oh, here we go.
Jigglypuff!
Perfect. Director
Jimmy Rob actually tweeted at me a scarf hoodie of Jigglypuff. He's like, "You need this." I'm like, "You're right, I do."
Mm-hmm. Yes, I do.
And if you wanted to have Jigglypuff being killed, you could play the Jigglypuff drop followed by the Bang Bang drops from Inuyashiki. So here we go.
Jigglypuff!
Okay. The director of the director of Yagate Kimi. Sometimes I have too much fun with the drops.
I don't blame you though. It's fun.
Our soundboard has 106 drops on it, by the way. It's kind of a lot.
That's way too many.
So the director Makoto is Makoto Kato, who directed Sakurako-san and Ashimoto ni wa Shitai ga Umateru. The series composer and script writer is Juki Hanada, who did the series composition for No Game No Life. Character design is by Hiroaki Golda, who did the designs for Amagami SS, and the studio is Troika.
Okay. I like the character looks at it in Amagami SS.
Me too. I actually enjoyed Amagami SS. Thought it was pretty good.
Me too. I did.
Oh, really? Yeah.
Yeah. It seems like you're a man of good taste, huh?
Well, thank you, kind sir. Yeah, I also respect you quite a lot for your taste.
Oh, wow, nice. Wow, thanks. It's almost like we should do a podcast together. Wow.
Are you naked? Are you naked right now?
Are you naked?
Wait, are we all naked right now?
I was naked, but then I put pants on during the Hobby Addicts.
I wasn't naked, and then I took my pants off.
I am on camera. I was naked, I swear, but I'm no longer naked.
I swear.
I promise. All right, so let's move on to the trivia. The trivia theme right now is new. We're on a new round of trivia, and the theme is a little different this time. I made it areas of Tokyo, so it's boroughs of Tokyo. So it's unique photos of Tokyo, and you must tell me what section of Tokyo it is, because Tokyo is giant, and it has like 40 sections that are pretty distinct.
Literally impossible to get through in one day.
Yeah, I mean, Tokyo is so big that like it would take you a month of tourism just to get through it all. So the answer this week was a softball. It was Akihabara. So most people know Akihabara. It has like, you know, anime signs and stuff all over it. So you really can't.
The mecca for our people.
Yeah, it's like our homeland. So we weren't born there, but in spirit, that's where we're all from. So right, the correct answers were Manly Mudkip.
I like that.
Okay, yeah, well, you can use that. You can pretend like you came up with it. So the correct answers are Manly Mudkip, Karate Failure, Yotari Vegeta, Fio, Simple Geno 3, Midnight Crow, Chibi Rob. Only Mitsuki's opinion matters. Oh, that's someone doesn't like me very much.
Did you put that in yourself?
I think it's sarcasm.
Can you teach you how to ban someone?
I think it's sarcasm. I think they're making fun of me. Full Metal Alcoholist, Golden Jedi Link, and Shinbon Zakura. So, and the winner for the week is, did I pick? Midnight Crow. So good job.
Nice.
Good job. And the new picture is up right now, and people have already begun to answer. So head over to the website, AAAPodcast.com. And after you're finished clicking the button on the top of the Discord, you can also play the trivia on the bottom of the website. So make sure you head over there to do that.
Quick, easy, fun. Good times.
That's right. And you can win shit. So that's good. Not actual shit, but like you'll win something. I promise.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I know Mandy's looking forward to getting to mythology and myths. So why don't we head to the news break? And when we come back, we're gonna be talking about that. Some of the shows, some of the stories from literature that we wish would be made into anime. Then later we're gonna be doing impressions on 5 anime from the spring 2018 season. So stay tuned, and we'll be back after the news break. Hey everybody, this is Mitsugi, and it's time for your anime news break. Leading us off today, we have Nintendo news. It looks like Nintendo's board of directors had a meeting recently, and the representative director and president of the company, Tatsumi Kimishima, is going to be retiring. Tatsumi Kimishima took the place of Satoru Iwata after he passed away in July of 2015 and assumed all of his responsibilities for the Nintendo company. And of course, Shuntaro Furukawa is going to be the man replacing Tatsumi Kimishima as both the representative director and the president of the company. So Nintendo shaking up their executive leadership a little bit for their company, having people retiring and new blood stepping in that will hopefully revitalize and continue to make Nintendo a great organization. Next up, Bang Dream is getting a spin-off anime called Pastel Life. Nico Live had a broadcast in which they announced that there would be a spin-off anime of the franchise Bang Dream. It's going to be containing some very well-known voices from the original TV series: Amy Maeshima, Adi Ozawa, Sumire Uesaka, Sawako Hata, and Ikumi Nakagami are going to be playing the main roles in the anime. So this anime also is going to be getting a Western distribution from Sentai Filmworks. The television anime will be distributed through North America. So those of you that are fans of Bang Dream, Pastel Life will be its spin-off anime, so look out for that. It looks very cute coming up in the future. Next up, the winners of the 22nd Tezuka Osamu Culture Prize Awards have been announced. The awards were put in place in 1997 to reward and honor those who made great manga and the mangaka behind them that followed the Osamu Tezuka manga approach to creating manga. The grand prize went to Golden Kamuy, an anime that is currently broadcasting in Japan. The new work prize went to B-Stars, short work prize went to Oyasan Toboku, and the special prize went to Tatsuya Chiba. Now it should be noted that another manga called Yakusoku no Neverland actually tied with Golden Kamuy for first place. However, the tiebreaker was recommendations for their works, and Golden Kamuy had more recommendations, so it did win the tiebreaker. So next up, it looks like there's some huge news going down in Korea. There was a summit that was held between the North Korean and South Korean leaders, Kim Jong-un and Moon Jae-in, recently, and they made a pact to a, quote, new era of peace on the Korean Peninsula that would end the Korean War and achieve a nuclear-free Korean Peninsula. So it was also announced that the two leaders laid out a series of plans and aspirational goals to bring the two nations closer together. And it was said, quote, that we will work to make sure without fail that the agreement will bear good results through close communication between us so that the failure to implement North-South agreements in the past will not be repeated. This coming from the leadership between the two countries. So this is a pretty big step towards peace in the southeast region of the world for North and South Korea to come together like this. So we're going to keep track of this, as I'm sure the rest of the world is also doing, as developments unfold. This was Mitsugi, and this was your anime news break. Now it's time to get back to the podcast.
Mandy, I've got a great idea.
All right, let's hear it.
Okay, what if, now hear me out, what if we did additional episodes? I'm talking hobby addicts, after parties, maybe even hentai episodes, if you're nasty.
Well, I mean, we already do all of those.
Hold on, what?
Yeah, we've been doing that for like years.
How did I not know about this?
You've been in like a ton of those episodes.
Come on, Mandel.
My name is Mandy.
Okay, Medward. You know I don't pay attention to things like that.
Like yourself speaking?
Huh? Well, I'm glad now we're making millions off these extra episodes.
Actually, they're only like a couple bucks a month.
Wait, what?
Yeah, if you go to AAAPodcast.com/join, you can sign up to get access to all of our extra podcast goodness for just a few bucks a month.
Whoa, that is a steal. All right, so where do I go to sign up?
I just told you. AAAPodcast.com/join. And besides, you're in those episodes.
Huh?
Just go to AAAPodcast.com/join already.
All right, guys, and we're back to the 419th episode of the Anime Addicts Anonymous podcast. So thank you for tuning in with us. Are we all here still?
Yeah.
Yep, we're here.
All right, good. I'm just checking.
Of course.
Oh shit, we didn't do the trivia.
We did. I was about to
put it
tell
in
you,
the
hey, we didn't do the trivia.
All right, so here's what we'll do. I'll give the trivia now, and we'll answer it at the end of the topic.
Ooh, good idea.
This is easy anyway. The in the anime Girls und Panzer, which unusual vehicle did the girls drive? That was.
Oh my god, I know.
Well, you should know. I mean, if you don't, I'll come over and hit you over the head with a tack hammer. So I can't finish that phrase anymore because it's now offensive. So, okay, so let's start the topic. The topic was suggested by IcyRose. It is myths or legends you'd like to see get an anime adaptation, which I know is Mandy's wheelhouse for sure.
Yeah, Mandy, you and Mandy wrote down so much, and I have one little idea.
Oh, pobrecita.
It was a rough week, everyone. Okay, I'm sorry.
Well, why don't we let Mandy go first? Because I know that you're probably vibrating with excitement. So
I'm vibrating with excitement.
Let's allow you to get some of that kinetic energy worked out. How about that?
Alrighty. Well, the first one I had down, and I'm gonna say I apologize if I mispronounce these names because a lot of mine deal with like Welsh, like in Celtic mythologies.
Can I just? I'm sorry to stop you already, but I think we should make Enzo pronounce them.
Yeah.
Okay, fine.
Because I know he's gonna struggle, and it'll be really funny.
God damn it, man. Okay. All right, man.
Wait, before we started rolling, I was saying like some of these names, and so it's like I don't get it. But my first one was the like Mabinogion collection of there's tales.
You're supposed to make Enzo say it.
Oh, okay.
So do you
for
want me to read the whole thing, or do you want me just to? How about you read it? I'll just say the name when the name comes up.
Okay. I wrote down just some notes for myself. The Mabinogion is a collection of 11 tales from Britain's earliest proses in 12th century, and it covers a lot of stories of King Arthur. Shows up in a lot of them, but it's a very different story from like what we're used to, and it goes from like the hero quest of Go ahead.
Colthwick.
Nice.
Colthwick.
That word is 7 letters long and it has 1 vowel.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
I'm gonna spell it out so the listeners can't shit on me more than they have to. This word is spelled Culhwch.
It's a name.
That's a name.
I don't see how there was any other way to say it.
Colthwich.
It's Coic.
Okay.
Coic
Alright.
and Olwen. And
That one's easy
that's the
enough.
story of Coic turns down the offer to marry his stepsister.
Oh.
And so the queen puts a curse on him so that he can only marry the daughter of this giant. And it was Olwen. And without ever seeing her, becomes infatuated with her and asks Arthur to help him find her. And after finding her, she returns his affection, but she can't marry him unless he gets her father's approval. And so the rest of the story is Coic and Arthur performing like seemingly impossible tasks to try and win her father's approval. And so that's one of the stories. And there's like the dream of, go ahead.
How would that play out as an anime? How do you see that?
I don't know.
Oh.
But the topic wasn't to make the anime myself.
Oh.
Someone else's
I see.
job.
Goodness.
I gave an idea, and they have to do it.
I see.
I see.
Okay then.
But
I mean, I could see this playing out in like if you take like the tone of like Arslan Senki or something, and you set up the beginning where the whole marriage thing is happening, and then you do the quest, and that's it.
That sounds good to me. I like this. I like the idea. I like how you're kind of attacking it from a different angle that I did, because most of mine are like low-hanging fruit stories that like people know. So I like that you're kind of diving deeper into more unknown sort of realms of mythology. So that's kind of nice.
And I think that it's also a collection of 11 tales. That's almost an entire season. So you could have like each tale have its own episode.
Okay.
That's a good one. That's a good one to do.
And maybe one of like the more well-known stories would have its like 2 episodes, and then you get 12.
Okay.
But,
that sounds good to me. I mean, or maybe 24 episodes and give each story 2 episodes. I don't know, just to give it a little more time to be an actual story. I don't know. It's up to you. You're the creator.
yeah, and good luck to Japanese people trying to pronounce these names.
Oh, well, Jesus.
Oh, wow, yeah.
They're all going to be Takashi.
Yeah, well, the Japanese language depends on vowels so heavily.
Yeah, definitely.
That like, oh my God, they would probably just explode trying to say the words. So okay.
But yeah, some of the other stories are like the dream of Maxine Welding, which involves the Emperor of Rome marrying a maiden that he sees in his dream. And
wait, he marries his
wakes
dream,
up,
or he's seeing a woman from the city in his dreams?
No, in his dream, he sees a woman and marries her in the dream. But when he wakes up, she's gone. So he always wants to stay asleep. He doesn't want to wake back up because that's the only time he can see her.
Oh, that's very similar to that story that
I thought about that too.
Yeah, that I proposed in our last.
I didn't want to burst your bubble, but.
Well, you know, I can't help it if I'm coming up with stories in my mind that are at the level of classic mythology. I mean, sorry, you know.
Nice.
I am just that good.
The one name that I was having trouble, and I want to hear Enzo try to pronounce it.
All right, so this name is spelled Ludd. And okay, all right, here I go. This name is pronounced thud.
I can't even say it. Like I was listening to a pronunciation, and it's so hard because Celtic just sounds like it doesn't read like how it like is written. It's like I think it's Cluth or Thoth or something like that.
What?
But it's like Thoth and Cthulhu, the story of
Wait, okay, so the next name is spelled Llevelys,
yes.
and you said Cthulhu?
Yeah.
Okay, well,
It has like a
I
very
mean-
short K sound. Look, I'm so sorry. I probably butchered these.
it's so
Anyway.
hard.
But that
I think it's perfect for you,
involves-
Enzo.
Mhm.
Thanks.
It
Wow.
just it highlights your multiculturalism.
Yeah, this is true. This is true.
So I appreciate that.
But no, it's that one just involves like Britain suffering from 3 strange plagues and then them trying to solve the plagues. But
Mm.
I wonder if you could personify the plagues and make them characters.
Oh, they'd all be Moe girls.
one
Oh, yeah, let's do it.
do you want to hear what the plagues are? Because
Yeah.
the first plague was the words were amplified, so no one could whisper anything without it being heard.
Ooh.
Okay.
The second
She'd be a
plague
really
was
loud girl. Wait, oh my god, that anime is literally Kakai Sensen. Or that plague is Kakai Sensen. It's perfect.
What about the second one? Every May Day, a piercing scream would ring out across the land and cause people like a great amount of pain, and they would tremble in fear.
Oh, a great scream?
Yeah,
That's
like
just
a
horrifying.
loud screech.
That's
Hmm.
not
And then,
fun. What part of this is fun?
None of that is fun. That one sucks.
The weird thing is what was causing it when they finally like solved the plague. It was just 2 dragons that are fighting, and he turns them into pigs.
Oh,
Buries
bacon?
them under
They
Well-
turn into bacon?
I
It's
guess.
bacon.
Oh, I love bacon. So,
And if you eat
And,
the bacon, you get to yell really loud.
oh,
Ooh, loud
Yeah.
bacon.
that's your taste buds screaming in pleasure.
Yes. All the fatty acids, all of them.
Mm-hmm.
The last plague was all the food would disappear at the king's court, no matter how much was prepared.
No. Oh
No.
my god, that's my worst nightmare. That is really my worst nightmare. That if I can't eat nice things when I want.
IcyRose said so. Black Clover. Yes, you're correct.
So you were subjected to episode
my
1 of
God,
Black
that's right.
Clover for 10 hours
All day long. Yep,
all day long.
that's great.
Oh, that would suck.
Okay. Well, that sounds good to me. I think we can do a lot with that. Let's make it happen.
Yeah, if it was like episodic, I think it'd be really cool. If it was like
Yeah,
each
I
episode,
agree.
kind of like Junji Ito's, what they're doing with that.
Yeah. Yeah, I need to watch the rest of that. I really enjoyed the beginning of it. All right,
Yeah.
so shall I take over?
Yeah.
Yeah,
go
do
for it.
one.
All right, so I'm gonna do the story of Beowulf. It's a name people know. I don't know if everybody knows the story of Beowulf, but Beowulf is a story that begins with a king named Hrothgar, which is not quite as difficult to say as the words that Mandy was coming up with. For it actually has vowels in it. Who has a great hall in this city called. He has this great hall, Heorot. And him and his warriors like to, have giant banquets and drink tons of mead and slam their beers down and get rowdy and, have fun and be dudes and, do the things that like burly warriors with their axes and shit do, But there's a problem. There's a monster named Grendel that is very large and powerful, and it keeps coming into the hall and killing people, okay? In mass quantity, and he eats them too while they're sleeping. They'll fall asleep, they'll be drunk, they fall asleep in the hall. Grendel comes in and just kills them. And they wake up and they try to fight Grendel, but he's so powerful and difficult to fight that they can't fight him. He's just too overpowering, and he's killed tons of Hrothgar's men. And so Hrothgar asks Beowulf, a young warrior from another land, to come and assist him in fighting off Grendel. And so Beowulf's like this unbelievably narcissistic character. Maybe one of the most narcissistic characters you'll ever run across. Like, he's like this beautiful guy with blonde hair, and, he's always talking about how amazing he is and how he's so powerful, and I'm the best, and I'm so sexy and beautiful, and I'm just like, I don't know. I always think of like
Me?
I always think of, yes, Enzo, the blonde hair.
With your blonde hair, yeah.
Yeah.
I always think of like Fabio with a giant sword, sort of,
Gotcha. I can
But
see
like,
that.
so Beowulf, he's so arrogant that he refuses to use any weapons to fight Grendel. And when he does fight Grendel, Beowulf, he pretends like he's sleeping, and Grendel comes in, and they have this giant battle. It's very violent, and Beowulf defeats Grendel. And then the story continues on through several more battles. I think the anime could probably stop after the second one, which is where Grendel escapes and goes down to where he's from, like in this lake that is like endlessly deep. And Grendel's mother, who's even more powerful than Grendel, lives at the bottom of this lake, and Grendel goes down and goes down with his mother. And Beowulf swims to the bottom of this lake like without any equipment and just takes them on. And it's just like this badass epic story of, you know, fighting and murder and battles against huge beasts. And I could see it maybe being a pretty solid, like, short. It wouldn't be that long because the story of Beowulf's not that long.
Mm-hmm.
But you can make like a nice 12-episode story that would be filled with action and atmosphere and violence, and it would have an unbelievably beautiful blonde male anime character, which, you know, as you do. And yeah, and there'd probably be like beautiful girls that fawn over him. I don't recall there being like any women, practically no women in the story at all, in the actual story, but except for the wife of the king Hrothgar. But, you know, it's anime, so we could have like, you know, tons of girls fawning all over Beowulf, you know, just because, you know, gotta have boobs somewhere.
Because anime.
Because anime. And I think it could be a very exciting, action-packed story. So, you know, it would be...
Yeah.
It would be, for sure.
I think so.
I'm actually surprised it hasn't been done.
I mean, Beowulf's been done a few times in different formats.
Yeah.
There's definitely a couple...
anime.
There's like 2 movies for Beowulf, right? Like live-action Beowulf movies.
There's the CG one, too.
There's,
but,
yeah, oh, God. There's the Hollywood one with Angelina Jolie, where... Is she supposed to be Grendel's mother?
I have
yeah,
no idea.
It's
She is?
ridiculous.
Yeah.
Grendel's mother
And he
is...
turns into a dragon. Does he turn into a dragon in the original story?
No
There
idea.
there is a battle with a dragon. So
Oh, okay.
I'm not actually that familiar with the portion of the story of where the dragon comes in. So Beowulf and his warriors come to fight the dragon. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So there is a dragon in the story, but which comes after Grendel's mother. But I just don't see how Angelina Jolie could possibly represent Grendel's mother, who's supposed to be like, you know, even more powerful, like just giant and powerful, even more so than Beowulf, because it's freaking Angelina Jolie. How is she possibly? I don't understand.
Yeah.
That. I don't know how that plays out.
I feel like Angelina Jolie just doesn't have the aura to play like meek characters. She's always like seeming to be very powerful.
Yeah, but I mean, Grendel's mother. I always viewed Grendel's mother as being like a giant beast, like huge.
Right.
You know, like huge in the mythology sense, like a true man, like Goliath, right? And,
Gotcha.
And you know, and Angelina Jolie's like a 5'2" hot chick, so like, it's perfect. It's perfect for anime. Like that anime would do something like that, but I wouldn't expect that out of Hollywood. But whatever, it doesn't matter, I guess. So that's the story of Beowulf. It would be pretty cool. It would be violent, very violent.
That would be cool.
All right, well, who's up next?
Up next is me, and I wanted to look into like kind of Chinese mythology some more because I had a feeling you guys would go more European. But I've been unlucky this last week and have had work screw me, but I did have time to think about the dragon and the phoenix in Chinese lore, and these 2 animals are ones that are involved in Chinese mythology and lore since creation. They're one of the first. They're part of like the original 5 creatures or beasts from the point of creation of the world. And usually the dragon and the phoenix are paired together. And when they're together, they signify things like prosperity and luck and things like that. Just like generally good things. So I was thinking that not taking it too literally, but I was thinking of using the dragon and the phoenix as a good backdrop for a Warring Kingdoms type romance anime where one family can represent the dragon and one family can represent the phoenix. And then let's say like the leader of the dragon family is like a guy and the general, and then like on the phoenix side of the family, like the phoenix family is like a really powerful woman leads that army into war. And then I was thinking maybe they could meet in the battle, and then as they fight in battle, they kind of realize like they kind of like respect each other as they're fighting, and then they have to break up the fight for whatever reason, and they fall in love and whatever. Because that's just me fanboying about that idea. So I was thinking about having a Warring Kingdom style romance between the dragon and the phoenix, because in the end, when they're paired together, they're a good thing.
And you're not gonna have the dragon and the phoenix both be Moe girls?
No, I'm not gonna have both the dragon and the phoenix be Moe girls.
Are you sure?
I don't want. There's gonna be no Moe characters in this one. No, I want the tone of Arslan Senki for this one. Is there is there a Moe girl in Arslan Senki?
There is a younger girl, but she's not Moe.
There's an attractive, big-breasted archer woman.
Yeah.
Right, but there's no like Moe blobs, right?
No.
Okay. No, not that I recall.
Yeah. So that kind of tone, and then just using the dragon and the phoenix. I wish I had more time to research this because I find it really interesting, but had a rough week myself.
Oh. Yeah. Well, you want me to give you a back rub?
Yes, please.
I can do that. Wait.
And we're happy you're here.
Wow. Thanks, guys.
Wow.
Wow. All right, who's next?
My next one, I actually mentioned this very quickly on the Shark Tank, but it was very quick at the end. I didn't get to flesh out my idea, so I'm bringing it back. And this one is a legend. It's not a myth, but because this actually did happen. But it's the story of Boudica, because I think it would make a great anime. And I want it to be like a historical retelling of Boudica, sort of like what they're doing with Vinland Saga. And so Boudica was the queen of the British Celtic Iceni tribe, who led a rebellion against the occupying forces of the Roman Empire. And after Boudica's husband passed away, before he passed away, he was leaving in his will his kingdom jointly to his daughters and the Roman emperor, because they were on friendly terms at that time. But when he died, the will was ignored and the Romans invaded, and Boudica was flogged. They did terrible, terrible things to her daughters, and most of the household was turned to slaves. And Boudica then led a rebellion against the invading Romans, and she gave the speech that it is not as a woman descended from noble ancestry, but as one of the people that I'm avenging lost freedom, my scourged body, and the outraged chastity of my daughters. This is a woman's resolve. And as for the men, they may live and be slaves, because I think a lot of people were scared to join her. But I think it has the potential to be a very deep drama too, because Boudica is revered as a freedom fighter, but she, during her quest for revenge, it was very blood-soaked, and she killed a lot of innocent people, both Romans and British at the time. So I think it'd be a really cool story though, definitely Vinland Saga style. And I know
you love you some Vinland Saga.
Oh my god, I love Vinland Saga. I was trying to see if it's ever been done. I know there was an old movie that did not do very well for Boudica, and she showed up in one of the Fate games, but that's it. So no Moe blobs, please.
Definitely not.
I want it to be Vinland Saga style.
Do we ever want Moe blobs ever?
There's a time and place for Moe blobs, but not today.
I'm still waiting for an.
It's an outrageous story, yes.
I'm still waiting for an anime where the Moe, or it's about Moe blobs, but they're just being like horrifically and violently murdered. Just is most horrible deaths you can come up with, draw and quarter them, all this horrible shit.
What about Higurashi?
Worse than that.
Oh, okay, worse than that.
And worse than
that wasn't
Madoka?
bad enough.
Higurashi's violent, but I'm talking, heavy gratuitous violence, like OVA, not suitable for TV level violence.
Damn.
Like Devilman level violence. Yeah.
Damn.
Okay.
Can we just get a Moe version of Devilman? That would be amazing.
I would watch that just for the fact that it exists,
Mm-hmm. Same. Can we get a Moe blob, except they're actual just blobs?
Yeah. With anime hairstyles though?
Yes, just little slimes.
I think we should have an anime where Moe girls turn into blobs. Kind of like how in Parasite Eve, how Eve can make humans combust and turn into blobs. But then there'll be blobs, and then somebody will come along with a straw and just drink them.
Ew.
Would you drink them?
I would.
Would you drink them, Mandy?
No, I would not.
I also think I would not.
Isn't that cannibalism?
In a way.
All right.
That was way off topic. What are we doing?
I like that one a lot.
Oh, you mean my idea or
Yeah,
the
no,
MOA?
no, Boudica sounds like she's cool as hell.
Yeah, it would be amazing, I think.
She's a bad biatch.
Yeah.
Look out.
So, are you up with another one, Mitz?
I am. I got some more. I've discussed this before on the podcast, but it's been a while, like years ago. I would like to see one of my favorite stories. One of my favorite mythologies is the Epic of Gilgamesh. It's noteworthy, especially because it is commonly known as the oldest human story ever.
Mm-hmm.
It's so old that we don't actually know how old it is. It was written somewhere between 2700 and 2100 BC. So really damn old. It's Mesopotamia. It's an ancient Mesopotamian epic poem that was found on a number of stone tablets, like literally hand carved in stone. And the story hasn't entirely been recovered. Like this, I mean, we're talking pieces of stone that are 5,000 years old or whatever. So they're not recovered in their entirety, but you can buy the work of the Epic of Gilgamesh on like Amazon. It's about 150 pages long, I think, and the story is kind of pieced together based on what they know from what's on the tablets, and then like nerdy dudes have been like, okay, well this is what would happen, and et cetera, et cetera. So the story is about a king named Gilgamesh who is a horrible, violent king who rules a city called Uruk, and this whole story takes place in what I think today is like ancient Iraq, basically, and the gods look at Gilgamesh, who is 2/3 god, 1/3 human, and they send down a warrior whose name is Enkidu, who is supposed to be Gilgamesh's equal, and the gods send him down to, I believe, to teach Gilgamesh a lesson, if I'm recalling correctly from the story. And they have a test of strength between Enkidu and Gilgamesh, who I think Enkidu just starts off like naked in like the woods, like jumping around with deer and shit, and then he eventually realizes like what his purpose is, and he travels to Uruk and he challenges Gilgamesh to a test of strength, and according to Wikipedia, Gilgamesh wins, but but from the story that I've read this story twice now, and my recollection is that nobody wins, and they end up just becoming the best of friends. And they become great friends, and they go through a variety of epic journeys together, which includes like going to a forest to retrieve like wood, I think. But like in order to get it, they have to defeat a beast that is so massive and unkillable that only Gilgamesh can possibly even be considered able to kill it. It's so gigantic.
Okay.
And yeah, they make a 6-day journey to a legendary great cedar forest where they plan to slay the guardian Humbaba the Terrible and cut down the sacred cedar tree. Humbaba actually has a link here.
Humbaba sounds like such a cool name.
Yeah, I know. Baba.
Call me Humbaba from now on.
That is your name.
A monstrous giant of immemorial age. It was the face of a lion. When he looks at someone, it is the look of death. Humbaba's roar is a flood. His mouth is death, and his breath is fire. He can hear 100 leagues away any rustling in the forest. Who would go down in this forest? In the various examples, his face is scribed in a single coiling line, like that of the coiled entrails of men and beasts, from which omens might be read.
Cool.
So,
Okay.
where Humbaba came and went, there was a track. The paths were in good order, and the way was well trodden. Through all the forest, a bird began to sing. A wood pigeon was moaning. A turtle dove calling in answer. Monkey mothers sing aloud. A youngster monkey shrieks like a band of musicians and drummers daily when they bash out a rhythm in the presence of Humbaba. Humbaba is beloved of the gods and a king of kings in the palace of the forest. He's just like this massive, huge beast. Anyway, I think Gilgamesh kills him and takes the cedar tree, and they go through a number of other like adventures together as well. But ultimately, the story of Gilgamesh is a story of one's humanity and one's mortality, because Gilgamesh realizes through his battles with Enkidu that he is indeed 1/3 human and that he will someday die. And this is something that Gilgamesh fears more than anything. So ultimately, the story goes on the ultimate journey of Gilgamesh is this search for immortality. And in the story, Gilgamesh, it's driven by fear, is trying to find a way to become immortal, and he narrowly finds the source of how to become immortal, but it slips through his fingers. And so, like, this is really a story of humans coming to terms with the fact that they will someday die. And this could be a pretty sweet story because there's so much to it,
yeah.
because of its like stature as being the oldest story ever written. And
Yeah, it could be very nuanced. It could be very, especially if we're gonna tackle that internal conflict of like, shoot, I'm going to die one day. Whoa, like that's always a gold mine to write for. That's interesting, man. I like that.
yeah, and Gilgamesh is a popular figure in, like he's in most of the Final Fantasy games. You'll hear and he pops up in other like works as well, and his name is badass. Gilgamesh. It's pretty badass. So let's make it happen. But let's not make Gilgamesh a Moe girl.
Let's make let's make Gilgamesh more girl. We'll call her Gilga.
Gilga.
Yeah, we'll call her Gilga. And instead of all the weapons in the world, she'll collect all the candies in the world and fight with that.
Oh, good
All
Lord.
the cakes too.
Yeah. And her armor will be pink and only pink.
I think Gilgamesh carries an axe that is like so large that it could like cut the world in half or some shit. I gotta like.
I love that.
I gotta look that up. But
Man, people back there are so extra.
I love that.
it's like an axe. This article doesn't discuss the weapon, but like it's a weapon that's like so massive and heavy that I think only Gilgamesh can wield it. But I'd have to look around to find that. It's been a while since I've read the story. Anyway,
It's like 1,000 years from now. They're like, back in the age, they talked about a man who could kill anybody with one punch.
oh god, that's pretty funny.
We're gonna be legends one day.
Yeah.
Stupid legends.
All right,
My
I guess we're
oh,
back to
sorry.
Mandy since Enzo doesn't have any more. Burp, 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 burp.
and
That's okay. We still love you.
my last one was, this one is a myth. I'm trying to think of how I can incorporate it into an anime, but it's the Morrigan, which is a Celtic raven goddess.
Oh,
and
hell
she
yes.
Collects, she collects heads from fallen soldiers after battle, and
She
she's-
is so badass.
yeah, similar to like Valkyrie in Norse mythology. But
Yeah.
I don't know. I find all kinds of just little bits of Celtic mythology and history that I think would just make really cool, like a really cool anime if you just brought them all together. And of course, if it's done right. But to add on to that, like I was thinking about anything that having to do with like druids, because we see druids like pop up in like fantasy stories, but like historically druids were really like they were like they had like a higher status than the king. Like they were very revered, and like Romans had always had a tough time with them because they were brilliant tacticians, but they, in order to like justify why they were giving them such a hard time, that's where like the myth that they possess like great deals of magic. They're like, well, they must be winning because they have magic. Is that, at least that's what I've gathered from my research. But and they have like a bunch, there's tons of different little like druid stories. Like there are Roman texts talking about the druid egg, which druids had like the druid leaders had eggs, which the tale goes that they collected these eggs when they were going from like apprenticeship to like into a druid. They would have to go to like this den of vipers, and these vipers and snakes were just like, they were in a big coil just attacking each other, angry coil, and their saliva would like collect into this big like egg, and then they had to like grab the egg, snatch the egg away, and run across
Oh my god.
a river as
That
fast as
sounds
they
like my
could,
worst-
because the
that's my
snakes
worst
would chase
nightmare.
them. Oh, are you scared of snakes?
Oh, I don't like them. Not a little.
I used to have a snake.
I don't like. I appreciate them, but from a distance, like a big distance, like a couple miles distance. You know what I mean?
Man, you can't even see a snake from that far away.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's the point.
That's the point.
When I go mountain biking, I inevitably always almost bike over a snake. For some reason there's just tons of snakes out in this like wildlife reserve I go to, and there's always like a long black snake that is terrified of me, that is trying to get the hell away. And they are fast as hell. Like snakes are fast. I mean,
Snakes
they're
are
not,
fast.
They're not messing around, dude.
how
If
the
they
hell is a
want you-
snake so fast? It has no arms or legs.
Ooh, this is a good YouTube. I'm gonna go down this YouTube black hole.
I used to own a snake a long time ago, and it bit me once, and it was fast.
It bit you?
Wait,
Yeah.
hold on. Question: Did it?
Yes.
Did your snake always escape its cage?
Yes, it did. Well, not always. It escaped once, and my cat killed it.
Oh, that's so sad.
Oh, dude, your cat's badass as hell.
I was really sad. Okay.
Well,
I don't know how it got out. They're amazing escape artists. I have no clue to this day.
That's what
Anyways,
I
that's
hear.
so
I
off
hear
topic.
I hear that the snakes always get out of their cages, but hey,
They do.
okay, yeah.
Yeah, it's. Anyways, I think there's a
Anyways.
lot of different like Celtic stories. I think would make great. Just if you could figure out how to smash them all together into a coherent anime.
I'll give you a really off topic sort of side story here.
Okay.
We used to have fish when I was growing up. Like we had like a couple large fish tanks that had tons of fish in them.
Yeah.
And we had a quote unquote fish called a rubber eel, and this rubber eel was endangered. It was an endangered animal, and
Okay.
it became endangered after we bought it, right? And we had think of like a very cool looking, like basically it looked like a black snake that lived underwater, and it would come up and it could basically span the whole 40-gallon fish tank from top to bottom because it was about 2.5 feet long, and it would breathe air. It would go up to the top for air or whatever. And one day, this rubber eel got out of the fish tank and it died because, well, it can't survive. We had 10 cats anyway, so that the cats would have killed it for sure. But
Did you say
Yeah.
10 cats?
we did have 10 cats, but we also lived in a forest that was about, I don't know, 500 acres probably. So
Okay.
the cats would come and
Okay.
go. But like,
I see.
speaking of escape artists, this rubber eel, and I know that it did this because we had two of them, and I watched the other one do the same thing later. The first eel, it climbed. You know how fish tanks have like those filters that suck the water up, and then there's like a little waterfall that pours down from the top.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This eel climbed its way up into the filter,
Oh, I see.
and then from there climbed out of the filter, out of the fish tank, and
the hell?
fell onto the floor and just died on the floor.
Oh.
And then we went back to get another one because they were so awesome, and boom, endangered. So that was my
Oh,
fault.
that's so
I made that animal
Wow.
endangered.
Animals
Wow.
are dumb.
I wonder if I can come up with I wonder if I can find a picture of a rubber eel and show it to you. They're pretty neat. Anyway, side
That's
story.
so sad. Yeah.
That's crazy though. Damn, animals just like they just find a way, huh?
This is gonna creep
Thanks.
Enzo out, but I found a really great picture. So
No.
I'm gonna,
No, don't post
I'm gonna
it.
post it for you anyway.
No,
so there it
don't
is.
do it.
Oh, come
No.
on, just look at it.
Oh, dude, they just. No, I don't like this.
Oh, that's actually pretty cool. What
Yeah,
did you
no.
feed it?
You could like reach your hand in and pet it and stroke it. It felt really cool. I mean, it was harmless. I mean, it was not, and it didn't even have the ability to bite you. So completely harmless.
That's what you think. What if it escaped and everything went according to its plan to kill you?
There are eels with terrifyingly sharp teeth, but this was not one of them. So
Okay.
by the
But
way,
it's kind of cute.
I looked up more again, and that was a mistake because
Oh, did you get dark stalkers?
all I got was like just insanely like Jessica Negri cosplaying Morgan, and like my mind exploded.
Oh, Jessica, yeah, she does have a Morgan cosplay.
I mean,
Yeah.
her.
Mine is not to be confused with the Succubus Morgan.
I like Succubus Morgan. Let's go with that.
Darkstalkers was a good game.
Yeah, I don't know about the game. I just know. Okay, moving on.
Anyways,
Am I up again?
Yep.
So
Mhm.
I'm only going to do one of my last two because we don't really have time. The one I'm not going to do is Homer's The Odyssey, but I think that could be an amazing anime adaptation because of it's a long story and it's very
Yeah, that could be like 4 seasons by itself.
it's so epic. Like there's so many battles. It has Achilles in it. It's got the Battle of Troy. I mean, there's love, there's romance, there's violence. It's an awesome story, and everybody knows the story, so it would be awesome. I don't know this story. I haven't read this story in a long time, but probably one of my favorite Greek myths is the story of Eurydice, who's a woman who gets taken down to Hades, basically, and she and her love, whose name is Orpheus, goes down to seek. I don't know if Mandy, if you don't know if you know the story, maybe you can keep me on track. But
Okay.
Orpheus goes down into Hades to find his beloved Eurydice. And as he goes down into Hades, you get like all these great depictions of hell and all this, and it's pretty neat. And I think he has to go through the Cerberus and everything. It's pretty nice. And Hades allows him to take Eurydice with him, but under one stipulation, and that stipulation is he has to make the entire long journey, and I think it's very long, like days long, all the way back to the surface. He has to make the journey without ever looking back to make sure that Eurydice is with him. And the minute that he turns around to see if she's there, she will turn into ash and disappear. And so, and as he is, and then so he makes the journey back out of hell. And I'm pretty sure at the end of the story he does look back to make sure she's there, and then she immediately vanishes. So it's kind of a tragedy, but it's like this love story that is full of like dark themes and, you know, it's a tragic love story. It's one of my favorite Greek myths, and I think it's also one of the most well known. Honestly,
Yeah.
so I'm not breaking ground here or being like super like outside of the box, but you know, these love stories are, you know, well, they're right up Enzo's alley.
Oh yeah, I'm in.
But there's like, you know, you'd have great depictions of the Cerberus, of hell. You'd have Hades in it. Like, there's a lot of cool things you'd see as he travels down through Hades' world. And then, of course, you have like the beautiful Eurydice, and yeah, it's just a good story. And I could see it. I could see it being a pretty interesting anime. And it will probably be short too, like probably just like 12 episodes long. But I think it would be there'd be a lot of interesting things you could do with it. There'd be a lot of artistic choices.
I have a question for you.
Yeah.
Do you think you'd be able to do it without looking back?
Ooh. Well, I can see why Orpheus does look back, and I haven't read the story in like a decade, so I can't remember the actual reason why he looks back. But my suspicion, like Hades has got to be like, you know, not to be trusted entirely, I would assume. And
No, always no.
to be like, are you saying he is to be trusted?
No, he's just a tricky guy.
Okay, so like exactly. So like if I don't know if I could resist looking back or not. One, because I'm sure Eurydice is just so beautiful, and I want to I'd like want to gaze upon her. But also because I would have this fear that Hades was just trying to get rid of me, and so he like played me for a fool and made me like walk all the way out of hell without ever checking to make sure that the girl was actually following me. The sad thing is that in the story, Hades is actually being honest, and looking back to check if she's there is his own downfall. So
terrible.
And I think he looks back right as they're about to be out of hell. So like it's pretty tragic, you know, that he can't keep his shit together for like another small leg of the journey.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Wow, that's so sad.
So it's a good story. It's a story we know a lot. You know, it's probably one of the most well-known stories in Greek mythology. But because of that, it's one that people would probably, you know, appreciate having made into an anime. So yeah, I'd like to see that. It wouldn't have any.
I back it. I would watch it.
I don't think it would have any fighting, unlike literally every other thing that I proposed. But, you know, it has love in it, which, well, the Odyssey has love in it too, I think. But the other stories I proposed do not. So
right.
Anyway.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, that was good. We came up with some good stuff. I hope.
Yeah,
you
guys know a lot of stuff, man.
I hope IcyRose is appeased.
I hope so too. Spicy Rose. Hope he's
Spicy
appeased.
Rose.
Spicy Rose. I like Spicy Rose over IcyRose.
There is a really good podcast. I'm gonna promote it right now. I normally don't do this, but it's mostly for Mandy. There's a podcast called Myths and Legends. It's very
Whoa, really?
Yeah, it's very well known. It has thousands of reviews, and it's basically a podcast where you listen to him telling a story. And so, like, there was a 3-part episode where he told the entire story of Beowulf, start to finish, and he does like the narration and everything. It's very well done, and he goes through like Japanese myth, like a myth, no matter where, like it could be from any part of the world. You know,
I'm gonna check this out.
He'll tell the entire story of like Beowulf or like a Shinto story or something from like Chinese mythology or whatever. And
that's awesome.
He definitely did Gilgamesh, and then he'll like tell a story about like, you know, in like Kentucky, there's the Mothman of West Virginia, and then he'll like at the end he gives you like he gives you a bonus where he talks about like a monster from like, you know, like a cryptid or whatever they call them. Like Slender Man. He'll talk about like. We'll give you a bonus. Like it's a good podcast. I think Manny,
very okay. Thank you.
You would like it.
I'm
and
very
it's
into this.
and it's well put together. Like
I've tried it before. It is really good.
I think it's
really
independent.
good.
I think it's independent, but I also think that it feels non-independent because it's done so well. So it definitely has a very professional feel to it.
Also looks like they've done a lot of Viking legends, and that I am super down for. I love Norse mythology.
I'm sure they're.
I know it did like
are you
all
looking it up
Celtic.
right now?
Yeah, I'll look at it right now.
Okay.
I'm sure his catalog is like
Are you
hundreds of
making fun
stories
of
by
me?
now. It's basically just you listening to a story, so it's nice.
Nice.
Anything else, guys? Before I get us out of here, we need to have plenty of time to do all these impressions.
Just let's we have to. Don't forget we have to do the answer
right,
to the other
right.
question.
So the answer to the question, which was in the Anime Girls and Panzer, which unusual vehicle do the girls drive? And the answer is Enzo.
Tanks.
Tanks, baby. Yeah.
Which it's what Panzer means, right?
Yeah,
In
pretty much. I think.
Yes.
Yep.
I think so.
All right, so the actual in-show trivia question for this news break is, how many exclamation marks are at the end of Keijo's title?
That's so many.
And do not look it up. Don't cheat. All right, we'll see you guys after the news break, and we're going to be doing impressions on Wotakoi, Love is Hard for Otaku, Fullmetal Panic, Invisible Victory, Golden Kamui, Waka Okami wa Shogakusei, and Hisone Tomaso-tan. So we're going to get to all that when we get back, so stay tuned. Hey everybody, Mitsuki's back, and it's time for more of your anime news break. Leading us off today, Sony has revealed its financial results for the fiscal year 2017, which ended on March 31st, 2018, and that it shipped a total of 19 million PlayStation 4 units over the fiscal year, bringing the total sales for the PlayStation 4 to almost 80 million units, making it an obviously huge success. Sony had previously predicted that they would reach 79 million units sold by the end of the fiscal year, and now the company is predicting that it will sell 16 million units in the fiscal year of 2018, with increased operating income and increases in digital sales of the software. So PlayStation 4 just keeps clipping along, so hopefully it'll continue to be a good console for many years to come. Next up, we have a new manga getting greenlit by Studio Pierrot. The Chinese manga creator Dai Nenbyul's Gunjo no Magmel of the Sea Blue, is getting an anime adaptation. The fantasy series takes place in a world where the new continent named Magmel suddenly appears in the ocean, and a new age of exploration begins. Explorers venture to the island to find previously unknown life forms and resources, but experience one disaster after another. The manga follows the mysterious young men who make a living as relief workers who aid the explorers who get in trouble as they explore the island. So this does sound like a pretty cool little concept. Hayato Date is going to be directing the series. He worked on Naruto Shippuden, and Saiyuki. And also, Chuji Makasano, who worked on Tokyo Ghoul, is going to be overseeing the series scripts. So, looks like a fun anime that's going to be coming up. Next, California court confirms Tatsubata's International Ultraman rights. On Tuesday, a district court in the Central District of California entered a judgment in favor of Tsuburaya on April 18th, and the company's legal battle against the Corporation for the rights of international rights for Ultraman. The jury previously had a verdict in favor of Tsuburaya in November. Tsuburaya Productions contested UMC's claim of possessing the international licensing rights for the property, but apparently this has been denied. So, for those of you that are following this Ultraman story, more legal ramifications have apparently come to play, so make sure to find an article about this and read up on it if you want more information. Next up and lastly, World End Suka manga ends in May. The Kaname Seiyu's manga adaptation of Akira Kadeno's World End is going to be ending in the magazine in May 26th. The story is described as hundreds of years ago, humanity was beset by otherworldly creatures known as beasts and utterly wiped out. The last human, Willem, wakes up in a world where everyone he has ever known or cared about has been dead for centuries. With nothing to live for, he's done nothing but drift from place to place, but in his lonely wanderings, he's discovered the identity of the greatest weapons ever made for the unending war against the beast fairies. destined to fight with everything they have, then die. So it sounds like a fairly interesting story, but this manga is going to be ending on the 26th of May. If you're a fan of it, well, enjoy it while it lasts, because it is coming to an end. This was Mitsuki, and this was your anime news break. Now it's time to get back to the podcast.
Hey, Mitz, what's the website?
Oh, Enzo, you'll never believe this.
What? Oh, no.
JList.com is going to release a Church of Mitsugi PC game. Hello. It's called Moe Stomp Stomp Deluxe Edition.
Deluxe?
It's a turn-based RPG where you go on a quest to rid the world of Moe girls. I commissioned it from JList.
I didn't know JList.com sold anime PC games.
Oh yeah, Enzo. JList.com and Just USA are the same company. They sell hundreds of English language visual novels such as Fate Stay Night and Steins Gate, and they have adult games as well.
And Moe Stomping games.
Moe Stomping is not a game. It's life, Enzo. Life.
Right. Oh, I see. They have the new Mad Pompadour 12 Good Hair Days. Let's get that for Kazuo.
JList.com, your home for all your Moe Stomping and Pompadour game needs. Oh, and most other anime games as well. When it comes to Pokemon, don't mess with Kazuo.
I was in 6th grade, and I had Pokemon on my Game Boy. I had a Game Boy Pocket, I think, at the time. I was in gym class, and we're in the locker room, and I'm getting changed. This kid runs by, grabs my Game Boy, and bolts. And so I never got it back. Kid stole my Game Boy with my Pokemon in it. So in 6th grade, one of my electives, I was a teacher's assistant. This kid had that teacher. So I basically allegedly went into the computer and wrecked all of his grades.
Yes.
And found his locker combination, because the teacher keeps a record of all that. Allegedly broke into his locker, stole all of his Pokemon cards, which he had a ton of, and took all of his textbooks and threw them away. I think he assumed it was me. We did end up getting into a fight later on.
And you beat his ass?
Yeah, I got into a lot of fights in school.
You beat that kid's ass, didn't you? Because you were used to fighting. Back to the show. And we're back to the 419th episode of the Anime Adaptation podcast. All right, so we had an intro trivia question, and the question was, how many exclamation marks are at the end of the anime Keijo's title?
It's just a ridiculous amount.
It's just embarrassing.
I counted.
You counted? Okay,
ridiculous.
well, how many did you count?
8.
Yep, that's the answer. 8 exclamation marks.
So bad.
In other words,
you really gotta say it loudly. You really gotta
Yeah.
yell that out.
you're basically
Keijo!
screaming that shit as loud as you can.
Keijo!
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 Boobs and asses. All right. So we do have a oh, you know what? I'm just going to play this drop because, you know, that's what we do.
It's time for iTunes review.
All right, we have an iTunes review. Would any of you like to read it, or would you like me to do it?
You know, your voice is sounding so lovely today, Mitz, that you should read it.
All right, fine. C Clans writes, of all the anime podcasts I listen to, this is the one I anticipate the most. Even after several years, the production values are top-notch, and I appreciate that the show is released consistently each week. The hosts each have a unique critical perspective that ensures a well-rounded and in-depth discussion of a given topic, and they even take their listeners to Japan. I'm sorry I missed out on the last trip. The hosts put in a great deal of effort and bring their listeners a quality experience. Thank you, and keep up the excellent work. That is true. Like what?
That's a good review.
Oh,
There's
thank
no other.
you.
There's definitely no other anime podcast that will take people to Japan. So that's
That and also the word
definitely
consistent there is key there. You know, we don't miss weeks, baby.
man. We ain't playing games around here.
We're not playing no games. We're a professional goddamn anime podcast.
Yeah.
serious.
Serious topics only.
Serious topics.
Also, speaking of serious, the listeners have been bringing it with some serious intensity because we are now. If we get 3 more iTunes reviews this week, not only will we have 420 iTunes reviews, which I need to have like a drop of like a bong or something.
My God.
But we will have more reviews than we do episodes, which is what I wanted. So people have been coming, people have been bringing it, and we're almost there. So keep it up. We just need a few more. Although the Myths and Legends podcast I just referenced has 10,000 reviews, so
yeah, but we don't. But different genre.
Yeah.
We don't care. You know what I mean? Different type of product. You know. Let's not bring that into account. You know?
Yeah, I'm sure if we on like the scale of equivalency, we probably have like 40,000 reviews. So
yeah,
keep it up,
totally.
people. I love the fact that you guys are all writing reviews. I'm kind of sad we haven't had more 1-star reviews because I like the humor of them at times. But keep bringing it with the reviews either way. All right, so we have 5 impressions to do. We've got, oh, you know what? I got another drop for that because there's literally a drop for everything. So many drops that I can't actually find the drop for the drop that I need. Where is it?
We need a drop for the drop.
Oh my God, I can't find it.
Mitts. Come on.
I can't.
We need a drop. Can't find drop.
There
Drop
it is.
that drop like it's hot,
Today,
man.
we're gonna be doing impressions.
Impression time, believe it.
Okay, there really are 108 drops, so I can't find anything anymore. So,
Nice.
all right, who wants to go first? We got 5.
I can go first because this is like this is the only one that I have this week. So maybe you two go first, and I go in the middle, then you two again.
All right.
Okay, I get to my first one. It's very quick.
All right,
because,
go for it.
So my first one was Wakao Kami wa Shogakusei. And this one was a story about Oriko Seki. She's a little girl who lost her parents in a car accident, and now she's living at her grandmother's inn. And she meets a ghost boy named Oribo, and there he tries to convince her to become the next innkeeper. And it's created by Madhouse Studios, and it definitely shows because the animation is very pretty. But while watching it, when I originally chose this because it was so beautiful. Me and Enzo actually watched the trailer together.
Yeah, I was gonna
like,
say,
man,
I agree.
this is so pretty. It looks
really
so
pretty.
Yeah, it looked so whimsical and charming, and it definitely is. But I'm confused who the target audience is because the first episode felt like it was very much like for kids. But then the second episode showed scenes of Oriko's like parents' funeral and her grandmother collapses. And so there's also the possibility of like something tragic happening. And I'm kind of confused about who they're trying to target this to. But and it ended up being a short. Each episode's only 10 minutes long. So that was also I had no idea that it was a short when I originally chose it. But and there's also slight hints in like the second episode of possibly revealing how Oribo, this little boy, died. And it's possible it might have like some bittersweet moments. The second episode also introduced a very annoying little girl who's the daughter of the rival inn, and she only wears like big pink frilly dresses. But I think so far, I think it is very cute. Just watching Oriko try to mimic her grandmother at the inn, and because on the third episode she's actually trying to train and she messes up everything because she's just a little girl, and so she's like dropping stuff and making so many mistakes. But
what a
it
loser!
Is cute.
What a loser!
It is cute. It does have
her.
It is cute. It does have a sort of like kind of Ghibli feel to it. It's just charming. But I think it ended up being a little bit more childish than what I was expecting, which isn't bad if you want to watch that. But
yeah, you know, if you like watching losers.
Damn, that poor little girl. It's just a sweet slice of life, and just focusing on Oriko training to run this in. But it is a short, and I am going to fail it. But I mean, if anything, if it is charming though, if you feel like trying that out. But
all right, I'll give you. We don't really have any non-harsh fail drops, but you know, whatever.
That is one big pile of shit.
No one can. No one knows how to fail an anime quite like Jeff Goldblum. I'll tell you that right now.
And it knows. Someone asked if it's streaming legally. Not that I know of. No.
Okay.
Unfortunate.
All right, so I guess I'm up, and I am going to be doing an anime called Golden Kamui. That is a very popular manga. It just won the 22nd Osamu Tezuka Award. So, yeah. but we'll see how that translates to an anime. So Golden Kamuy, the synopsis, in Hokkaido in the far north, which is the far north island of Japan, in case you didn't know, there is a man named Sugimoto who survived the Russian-Japanese War of the Meiji period, and because of that, he's known as Sugimoto the Immortal. I think, as the anime tells it, he should have been killed like many times, but somehow didn't die. And so he's now looking for gold, and he's like panning for gold in like a river, which is, you know, not very likely to make any money. And in hopes of saving the widowed wife of his now deceased comrade from the war, although I tell you what, that barely comes up in the anime at all. During his hunt for gold, he finds hints of a hidden stash of gold by corrupt criminals. And he partners up with an Ainu girl. So the Ainu are like, I don't even know if there's a possible way for me not to be offensive when I say this, but I don't really care. So, like, America has Native American Indians, right? So the Ainu would be like the Native American Indians from Japan, is how I look at it. So
that's
So he finds an Ainu girl that saves his life from, you know, the environments, because it's very freezing cold and he doesn't really know what he's doing. And they go on this adventure to find all of the quote-unquote tattoos. Like, there are these criminals that were imprisoned, and the map that shows where the treasure is hidden is tattooed on these different criminals' bodies. And so they're going on this, like, quest to find these criminals and, like, de-skin them, but then they find that, like, throughout the course of the first 3 episodes, they discover that there's a better way to to do it other than skinning them. Like, they basically tie them up and spread their backs out, and and the Ainu girl like draws the map on paper as opposed to literally ripping their skin off, which is probably a better way to do it. And in an effort to find the gold, and, you know, so he can save his friend's wife or whatever. It's done by Studio Gano Studio, which what the hell have they done? Not very much. No, this is easy. They did Kokoku, which we haven't reviewed yet, and that's it. Literally, so this is their second anime ever.
Oh man.
So Kokoku, though, we will get to that later on, and it's directed by Namba Hitoshi, who has a lot of credits here. Director. He did Bono Bono. Anybody know that? Fate Grand Order. Go Sick, Grappler Baki, and Hero Man. So he's done some stuff. Yeah. Okay. So the first episode really turned me off. It was mostly because of the horrible use of CG that was completely unnecessary. So
I've seen it.
There's this, like, they get attacked by a giant grizzly bear in the first episode, and I can't put my finger on why they chose to make the grizzly bear look so awful, but, like, they tried to make it look like a real bear, like, is the best way I can put it. Like, it was clearly CG, but they tried to make the bear look real while everything else was not, and it just didn't work. I mean, I'm sorry, Geno Studio, do not do that again. Just draw the bear like normally.
Yeah, that's interesting they chose to do that.
I mean,
I've seen pictures of it floating around.
I mean, I'm sure that the context of the photos is that it looks like shit. So there's just no other way to slice it. It's a pretty violent anime. I'd call it moderate violence. You know, there are scenes where they'll find one of these criminals and then they'll be fighting, and at one point they actually, like, tear the first criminal they find. I'm pretty sure they rip his skin off, like they flay him to get the map, which is, you know, they discover later, like I said, that there's a better way to handle this. And second and third episode is a lot of the same. It's this Ainu girl whose name is Asurpa, and Sugimoto sort of, you know, traveling around through the land trying to find these criminals so they can get these pieces of this map. And in the third episode, there's a lot of, like, tracking going on. Like, they'll capture them, and they actually get attacked by some of the other soldiers that were also in the war, and because but for the wrong reasons. Like, the soldiers are are like just around, like, looking for people that are, you know, that are responsible for certain things, and the Sugimoto and Asurpa are not the people that they're looking for, but they end up sort of fighting anyway. But in the end, like, the grizzly bear comes back again out of this cave and is responsible for saving them for the most part, because it's giant and it kills a couple of the soldiers. But then you get another giant dose of horrible CG in the third episode. I actually don't think this is a really bad anime. I really like Asurpa a lot. She's like, out of the 5 episode animes I've got, she's one of my favorite characters out of all 5 of them. She's
that's cool.
Nice.
She's like this cool looking. She looks her design is incredible. It's an amazingly designed character. And if you haven't seen Asurpa's picture, it's worth looking up. She just looks great. I'll post it here in the Discord for you guys so you can look
post
at
it.
it.
I want to see.
And maybe you can forward it to the chat, which I don't have open. And
oh yeah, she looks really cool.
she looks amazing. Her design is everything from her
Oh yes.
from her headband to her coat to her bow. Like, everything is just remarkable. So the design of her especially is just, it's memorable. Like, I will probably recognize this character for the rest of my life. And there are some pretty lighthearted, fun scenes where she's like sitting in like a tent made of animal skins and in like the cold environment, and they're cooking some food. And there's a scene where, like, you know, there's a lot of survival stuff going on, so they'll like, they go through segments where she traps and captures a squirrel, and then they take the squirrel back to their little tent, and she takes the skin off the squirrel, and she's explaining how to peel the skin off easily, and then she talks about how there's like a food called like chata chata or something where they like chop up the meat together and they work together to make the food, which is kind of cute. And then they boil it and they make like a soup. And then he talks about how, oh, this would be so much better with miso in it. So he pulls this jar of miso out that he just happens to have for no reason. And she thinks it's poop because it looks like poop. And he puts it in the soup, and she's like, I can't believe you're eating poop. And she just doesn't understand that it's miso because the Ainu don't eat that, I guess. Miso is like so good. And like, miso soup is just amazing. And
Yeah, it's really good.
yeah,
Yep.
especially it's also great in ramen. And it's all right. Like, the show's not that. I was a little let down by it. I actually put this one in there in place of one of my other shows because I heard that this show was going to be really fantastic, but it's just really weak on story. Like, there's just not much happening. The first episode had weird CG in it, and then the next 2 episodes just there wasn't much happening. You know, it's just like they just happened to come across these criminals that I'm sorry, they just wouldn't run across them that easily. They just seem to pop up like, you know, willy-nilly out of nowhere, and they don't have to do much searching for them or anything. So it's just it's not for me. I mean, I don't hate the show. I didn't suffer through the first 3 episodes at all, which is nice, but this season is just, in a summer season, this might pass, but not in this season. Like, this season, this show has got to be rock solid. You know, in a land of Megalobox, which is like probably one of the best shows I've seen since we started this podcast.
It's literally
real
so
good.
good. It's real good.
I mean,
It's real good.
I'm gonna be literally blown away if that show doesn't get a 5 out of 5 from me.
Yeah,
so-
like
Yeah.
It can only mess up so far.
yeah, in a land of Megaloboxes, Golden Conway just doesn't stack up. You know, so it's not bad. If the description sounds like you're into it, I say go for it because it won't be a bad anime, but it's just not going to be good enough to pass. So here's your fail drop.
Man, you are one pathetic loser.
Goodbye, Golden Conway. You tried your best.
Tried your best in a different season, man. You
Yeah,
know?
in a different season. Next up, but Asurapa's great. She's an awesome character.
Yeah. So next up is me with Wataku ni Koi wa Muzukashi. And basically what this, so on the surface, this anime looks like another one of those shows where it's like, oh, like 2 nerdy characters falling in love. We just had MMO Addict. No wonder it's coming out now. And I still picked it, even though kind of seems that way, because I'm a sucker for that. Like, I'll take it. Like, I'll watch it. It looks cute, romance, kind of funny. Yeah, I'll try it. And I've been really pleasantly surprised by this anime. It's genuinely really funny, and the characters run really well. And so, just to give more background, episode 1 starts out with Narumi starting at a new company, and at this company is her childhood friend Hirotaka. And Hirotaka, after saying hello, hey, how are you? He kind of mentions something about a game that she likes or something, and she says like, hey dude, like, I'm not trying to come off like an otaku with this new job. I'm trying to start new. Like, let's just not talk about that stuff. But But then slowly they both like she realizes that Hirotaka and two other employees there are all otaku, and they all hang out and they all play games. And she slowly starts like being more comfy being an otaku. Like one of the other coworkers, Hanako, is like a very famous cosplayer that she's been a fan of for a long time. So she like loses her shit like learning that. And what I like about the show largely what I like about the show is that all the characters could have easily been like paper copies of shows like MMO Addict. Like they could have just been copies of that, or they could have just been very like Naomi could just be like a shy gamer girl, right? But they're all really real. And Hirotaka is what happens in the first episodes is that Naomi and Hirotaka end up dating. Like they start dating each other, which is why the anime is called Love is Hard for an Otaku, or for Otaku. They start dating, and I love the dynamic between Hirotaka and Naomi because they're adults and they don't, like whenever Naomi's feeling kind of down about something, Hirotaka is just like, hey dude, like what's up? Like let's talk about this. And vice versa, Hirotaka can feel some sort of way and Naomi's like, hey dude, let's talk about this. Like we're grown-ups. And in general, I do like anime that take place in, like post school, post high school, post college, because I think that's where a lot of really, really good writing can happen when in real life. And so far, I can say that I'm just genuinely really, really surprised with this anime. I didn't think I would be loving it this much at episode 3. And oh man, like this is really hard, guys. Have you guys watched any of it?
I have. And I like that the first episode they used like legit like Monster Hunter footage.
Oh yeah, they were playing Monster Hunter in episode 1.
They're playing Monster Hunter.
Yeah.
And he was using a bow. I was like, I get this guy.
So he's like a hunter. Yeah, he's a hunter.
A
they
bunch of other people
Hunter?
actually messaged me when this came out. They're like, hey, this guy is you.
Yeah, but he is
like,
you.
You're right.
Like, he really is.
You're right. He is me.
But yeah, so even though this season's really packed with a lot of good stuff, I'm gonna pass it. It's really actually good. I like it a lot.
I don't think I've ever been this excited. You're excited? Feel these nipples.
I want you to know, Enzo, you might owe me. You might owe me one.
Sure, dude. Whatever.
Oh, okay. Right. Well, your score on only because your score on the document would definitely mean this fails. So
I haven't changed the score.
Oh,
That's my
Enzo.
bad. Yeah, I know.
You're
I'm bad.
You're
I'm a
busting my
bad guy.
balls.
Bad
I'm a bad guy.
boy.
All right. I still think you owe me. All right. I guess I'm gonna go again because I feel like it. So we'll save the best for last, which is Mandy. So I am doing Full Metal Panic: Invisible Victory, which is I guess the 4th season of Full Metal Panic, even though I barely count Fumafu as a season because it doesn't follow the story of Full Metal Panic even remotely. Why do people love Fumafu so much? It's basically an entire season of filler. I mean,
I don't know. That scene with the like locker bomb always gets me.
I mean, I'm not gonna say it's not funny. Like, it's a funny show. And I like Full Metal Panic, so it worked for me. But I just don't. I feel like people would rather watch Fumafu than the actual story of Full Metal Panic.
Yeah.
And
sometimes. If it depends on what mood I'm in, sometimes Fumafu is better than the story for me.
All right. Well, Fumafu doesn't really have a story, is my point. But anyway, so this is the 4th season of Full Metal Panic. The Full Metal Panic started a long time ago. I got to go back through several links to even find the beginning. The original Full Metal Panic. Oh my God, where is it? Full Metal Panic started the original manga started in 1998. So this is not a new property.
God, it's so long ago.
Yeah, and so Full Metal Panic, this anime starts off literally right off the bat. It doesn't give you any lead in at all. It assumes completely that you've watched Full Metal Panic before, and jumps in running with its feet, if it had them, with its mecha feet, and doesn't stop. And the story is not complicated up until this point, and I don't think it will become complicated. It picks up right after the second raid, where an amalgam if for those of you that don't remember, Amalgam is the name of the organization that is the bad guys, basically. And Mithril is the name of the organization that are the good guys. And they're both military organizations, and they oppose each other. And the story of Fullmetal Panic: Invisible Victory is that Amalgam is saying, we're not going to play around anymore. We're getting serious, and we're going to destroy you and raze you to the ground. And they make that very clear. And the whole first 3 episodes of Fullmetal Panic: Invisible Victory has been Amalgam putting Mithril on its heels and just basically escalating to all-out warfare. And there's just battle after battle, car chase after car chase, gunfight, mecha fight, people being killed. Like, I would say after about the first 10 minutes of the first episode, it's been action the entire time without a single let up. Characters are being kidnapped and held at ransom. Missiles are being fired, torpedoes, giant mechas. There's a scene where a giant mech impales another mech through the chest with its gun, throws it up into the air like a doll, and then while the mech is like flying through the air, the big mech just lifts its arm up and just blows the other mech to smithereens, like right in midair.
Awesome.
And
that's the kind of mech stuff I want to see.
And that mecha that got blown up had a minor character in it that you should know from Fullmetal Panic. So like they're not playing games. But if you haven't watched Fullmetal Panic, you will literally have no idea what's happening, because unlike some shows that will give you a recap episode, which this show probably could have used at least a 10-minute, like
a hey, this is where we're at.
We had a show, I won't mention the name of it, recently that gave a recap episode, even though it had only been like 6 months since the last season came out, so you don't really need one. Fullmetal Panic hasn't been around in like 10 years, so it probably needed to have at least a lead-in, like, hey, where we left off on Fullmetal Panic, this and this and this happened, but they didn't do that. They just kind of jumped in. They didn't even explain who Sosuke Sagara and Kaname are. They didn't explain why Kaname is important and why they're trying to why Sosuke is protecting her. Yeah. They just assume you know. But if you're a person who likes mecha, if you like action, this is a great show for you. It really is 90% action scenes, and the character dynamic. I mean, like, I haven't watched it, but if and you tell me if I'm off, but like if the writing is consistent with the writing in the past, then the character dynamics are really great in this show too. Like, so in the midst of all that action, you get really good character arcs also. Kaname and Sosuke are very close. Like they're at the point where they're like holding hands, and they're pretty close. Like they look like they're a couple. But then like at the end of the 3rd episode, they acknowledge that like Kaname says, I have feelings for you, but I'm also afraid of you. Like, because of all this stuff that's happening. And because which is awesome. They're on the run like the entire time. And Sosuke, looks at her and he goes, I feel the same way. Like, I care about you a lot, but because of the power that you have, like I fear you, basically. And so, like, they have this weird dynamic where they care about each other, but they're also both afraid of each other a little bit. Yeah, but that's good writing, though, because I understand that based on everything that's happened in FMP. Like, that's logical to me. So that's cool that that's where they're at. So, I won't take really a whole lot longer. I'm just going to give my smart-ass remarks now. I would say that Fullmetal Panic is on the bubble of a pass-fail for this season, because while it is good, it's close to like the 8th show on the list, I would say, and the animation isn't amazing, and the CG doesn't quite work as well as I think it ought to. A lot of the mecha are done pretty much in CG. I wouldn't say it's not Golden Kamuy bad, but it definitely falls short of like a Knights of Sidonia, and but it's not super glaring, and honestly there haven't been all that much mecha in it up until this point. I'm sure they're saving it for the end. But, I will say that Fullmetal Panic did have at least 3 minutes of quality content in the first 3 episodes. So, because of that and because its name is Fullmetal Panic, I think I have to pass it, right? I mean, I think we set that precedent. Am I right? I'm not going to indulge you in this, but I'm glad you passed it. Okay. So, you're not going to indulge me. You are no after that favor I did for you. So yeah, 3 quality minutes and a big name equals a pass. So let's go for it. Let me find a good one. Here we go.
Yes! I love it, man.
Yes! Oh yeah! Can you feel that, buddy? Huh? Huh? Huh?
I have exorcised the demons.
All right. So, Full Metal Panic.
I'm glad that passed. I'm really fucking glad that passed.
It really is on the bubble. I could have failed it probably, but I just can't resist being a smartass. So, okay. Next up.
How many more do we have?
Just one.
Like spots.
How many more spots?
Yeah.
Well, at this exact moment, 4.
4. Okay. I forgot what we were going with so far. Okay. So my next one is Hisone Tomaso-tan.
Yeah.
That is what I was super excited about. It was my number 1 pick. And,
yeah, I'm looking forward to what you're going to tell me about it.
Have you watched any?
No.
Oh.
Lay some truth nuggets on me.
I was hoping you had. So, so Hisone Tomaso-tan is a completely original show by Studio and Bones. It's directed by Shinji Higuchi. Higuchi, who unsurprisingly worked on Evangelion. That's gonna it kind of shows, but in this. But so Hisone, it's a story about Hisone Amakasu, who is a rookie at the Gifu base of Japan's air self-defense force. She's a very honest person, but has a tendency to ramble out thoughts, occasionally being very hurtful to people. Like, she doesn't say it with malice. She just kind of says whatever is off the top of her head, doesn't, like, realize what she's saying. But because of this, she tries to distance herself from other people, so she doesn't end up being too talkative and annoying everybody. But so in the first episode, she ends up in a restricted area when she's delivering something to one of her superiors, and she ends up in a fateful encounter with the Gifu's big secret, which is the legendary dragon that they have hidden away. And the dragon's called an OTF, which stands for Organic Transformed Flyer, because he has this armor that attaches to him. He turns into a fighter jet.
That's pretty sick.
Dope. Yeah.
And during their meeting, when she first meets, his doesn't have his name yet. He's just the dragon. He swallows her whole, which means that he chose her as her pilot.
Does she get out?
Yeah. What they have to do is inject him with stuff to make him puke her back out.
Oh my god.
Oh man. Okay. That's a ritual.
Now Hisone is a dragon pilot, or DPI for short. And dragon pilots in this show are eaten by the dragon.
Oh really? I thought DP stood for something else.
That's why I specifically said DPI.
Oh no!
I knew that was coming. That's why I was prepared. So
sorry, I just can't stop. I'm awful.
Dragon pilots are eaten. They're eaten by the dragon, and the writers pilot them from the inside, and they have these special suits that prevent them from being digested. And they're able to give the dragon commands at these special helmets that turn the inside of the dragon into like a mech cockpit.
Which looked really cool in the trailer. That part really stood out to me.
Oh yeah, we did watch that. And they have this visor, these special visors, so they can see what's around them. It's really cool. And so the show, the artwork is filled with very warm, soft color palettes, and it contrasts nicely with like the very bold lines around the characters. And the characters are drawn in a slightly more simplistic style, but the animation is extremely expressive, and the characters like show loads of emotion on their facial expressions and like their body language. And the music is composed by Iwasaki Tesai, and his music adds just over to the overall whimsical and charming nature of the show. And so the first episode, the pacing was very nice. It was very quick and got straight to the point. It didn't leave you hanging like you saw the PV and you know there's a dragon in it. It didn't leave you hanging. It got to the point straight away.
Good.
And I really appreciated that. They could have easily dragged it out and not show the dragons like the very end, like leave you with a teaser. They got straight to the point. They're like, this is what the show is. But it's after the big reveal, they start to slow things a little bit down, that you meet the characters more. In the second episode, they introduce a character that I absolutely hated.
Uh-oh.
And
Hate's a strong
he is
word.
the creator of the suits, and I hate him because he talks about the size and body measurements of women, and really creepy. But they do kind of try to play it off. He's just very enthusiastic about his job, and I'm just hoping that's not a reoccurring theme, because if it's just that one time, I'm okay with it. Just
Yeah, that sounds dumb.
But other than that, I have loved the first few episodes. I think it has the potential to be a very heartwarming experience watching Hisone, and she names him Masotan, the dragon, and watching them bond. The third episode, she meets his previous pilot, who is now married with children, and it's funny because she's kind of like a bigger woman now, and she's like, I'm too big to be swallowed. and she teaches her Hisone some stuff about Masotan, like how to call him, and
Too big to be swallowed by a dragon? Which
the
like,
dragon's
what,
not
800
huge.
pounds?
She's so big. No, she's not 800 pounds. She's I don't know, but the dragon's not humongous.
How big are
He's
we
like,
talking here? Are we talking like the Escaflowne big, or are we talking like Spyro the dragon?
Not
Spyro.
It looks like it's like the size of like
That's an airplane.
Of an airplane. Yeah.
Yeah,
All right, so it's
fighter jet.
Escaflowne big.
Yeah, but I mean, she was just joking. I don't take her seriously. But
I always take everything seriously.
I know. And
Always.
I don't know how to deal with it. Anyways, but
Actually, I'm usually just joking around, talking shit. But okay.
Aren't we all?
So, and then they're in the third episode, she's also training with Masotan because they have like a flight show that they have to do, and Masatan's apparently really nervous around crowds, so he doesn't want to stay in his fighter jet form. It was so cool. Like when he transforms, it kind of reminds me like a transformer. It, like puts all like the pieces together. But
was that a sound effect you just tried to do?
Yeah. You can't see it. There's not a camera, but I did the motion.
Yeah, I'm sure.
I can't believe I don't have
Anyways.
a drop of UDA saying like kawaii. I have nothing.
Oh, yeah, yeah, we need that.
I don't know. All I have is
Jigglypuff.
I just don't have it. Oh, we have Jigglypuff. You want that?
Yeah, drop the Jigglypuff.
Go for it.
There you go. Yeah. Oh, you're good.
So, yeah, the story says that there's the dragon is the key to the future of the world. So I'm also just extremely curious to see where it goes. And it's gonna be on Netflix, so it's not currently legally available. But I watched some episodes so I can get my impression in. And I really want to pass it because I loved it so much, and I was so excited about it.
All right, well, here's a pass drop that I have no idea what it is because it doesn't really have a description with it. So here we go.
Nice.
わー、いいと思います。
I didn't like that one. Let's do another one.
とってもいいです。
Okay. That's good enough. Okay. All right. So we've now passed 5 shows from spring. We have passed Full Metal Panic: Invisible Victory, My Hero Academia Season 3, Megalobox, Otakoi, and Hisone to Masotan. And we have 10 more. So we have yet to do Piano no Mori, Captain Tsubasa, Gura Zeni, Legend of the Galactic Heroes, Lupin the Third, Magical Girl Ore, Tada-kun Never Falls in Love, Steins Gate, Persona 5, and Roku Hyodo, Yotsuiro Byori. We haven't done any of those yet. So only 3 of those 10 can pass. So there's going to be a lot of disappointment happening coming up. Okay.
Heartbreak.
Should we head to some mailbags?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's time for an almighty anime mailbag. Anime. Anime. Anime.
Mailbag. So you guys know that Discord button on the top bar of the website?
Yeah.
The mailbag button, it be right next to that.
Wow.
So after you're finished signing up for the Discord and then signing up for our extra content, you can then submit a mailbag, and it's all in the same spot, so easy to find. So
yeah,
make
just
it
say what's
happen.
up. Say
Can
what's
we
up.
have one that links just to Kazuo's email?
Yeah.
Okay, awesome. I'm just kidding.
Oh, like where's the Discord? We'll put like a email Kazuo where the Discord
Yeah,
is.
email
Right?
Kazuo button.
Like,
Yeah.
yeah,
Look,
like-
he isn't here to defend himself.
We can put a harass Kazuo about where the Discord is button right next to the actual Discord button.
Yes, that's perfect.
Got it.
Do
Yes,
that.
I'll
please.
talk to our web developer about that.
Yes.
That'll work out.
Web
That'll be
developer,
good.
web developer son, thank you very much.
Make it happen. All right, first mailbag is from Repent and Reprise. Who wants to read it?
I got it. Hello, AAA. Do you have any anime AMVs or MADs that inspired you to watch anime? The only one so far that inspired me was for Precure. The first one, Futario wa Precure. The first one, Futario wa Precure. Check out the MADs for them, Black MH and Cure Black Action. There's just something about the mix of 70s style Japanese music and the epic early 2000s fighting sequences that mesh well together. It goes without saying then, dangerous, most dangerous.
I don't have a dangerous, most dangerous drop, but I'm gonna make a note right here to
dangerous, most dangerous. There was one AMV a long time ago, that was Beck, and it was Beck, like the band playing, I forgot what song, but it was like some like early like emo song from back in the late 90s, early 2000s. So, well, no, it wouldn't be late 90s. It would be like early 2000s for Beck. And that's kind of what, and that like really got me into watching AMVs, and then which also made me watch things like I think I watched Paradise Kiss from an AMV.
Paradise Kiss is a good show.
Yeah, so I've watched AMVs. They're pretty fun to watch back then. I don't watch too much anymore now though, which is sad.
I'm gonna be honest. I have nothing. I haven't watched an AMV in like 10 years. So
I can't think of one that inspired me to watch the anime, but there was one for Natsume that got me down a hole one night. I love that one, but that's all I can think of.
All right, then I'm gonna move this along. Yotori Vegeta writes, "The industry needs your help. AAA. A new anime is being produced, but I actually love this mailbag. It's pretty funny. But they need a great name. Please pick one from the following: an apostrophe where it doesn't need to be, a la Knights and Magic. Re with a colon, which actually means in regards to, a la Re Zero, Re Creators, Re Hamatora. Way too many exclamation points, a la Keijo. Most of the comedies you wouldn't be caught dead watching. And the classic science adventure, semicolon, Steins, colon, Gate, Head, colon, Chaos, colon, Head, Robotics, colon, Notes, and everyone's favorite, Occultic, colon, 9, semicolon 9. Those are all semicolons. I love this because Japanese, these titles are just dumb as shit. All of them.
Interesting.
I have mine.
I love exclamation points.
I love all. They're all dumb as shit, to be honest. But I'll go with Re colon because it's the most obvious failure to use English out of all of these. In Japan, so often just epically fails at using English. As a person who lived there for almost 2 years, I have seen the most unbelievable misusage of English you could ever possibly come across. Not unlike the candy that Kazuo displayed last week from the J-List snack box that had the guy eating a lemon drop candy, and it said, "Oh, noble." Like, what the friggin' hell is that supposed to mean? And honestly, a simple Google search or inquiry to virtually any English-speaking person on Earth would yield a correct use of English. However, these studios seem to not give a flying F about anything, and so they choose to not even bother to like Google it or ask anybody like if this is correct English. They just go, I'm too lazy to do my due diligence, so I'm just gonna assume that this English is correct, but ultimately it never is. So okay, I'm done.
So do you have an anime name?
Me?
Yeah.
An anime name?
Don't they want us to make a name?
I hadn't. Oh, I don't know.
I'll go with. I'll also go with Re, and I want Re ramen because I'm so hungry right now.
You're always hungry. What is?
I would just all exclamation points. I don't really have a name, but I love the exclamation points because then I just want to shout the title of the name all the time.
How many ramen shops do you have in New York?
In New York? Oh, dude, like a lot, like over, like way, like 50, way over 50.
How many have you been to?
About, hold on, I actually have an actual list of this, and I'll get back to you, but it's about 20.
Because I could see myself flying to New York just to eat at your top 5 ramen places.
Yeah, it's about 20. It's about 20.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
I'm actually working on a blog where I'm going to track all the ramen that I eat.
Oh, well, I would love to be a member on. I would love to be on one of your blog episodes, eating ramen.
Yeah, actually, that'd be great if you came. Then because I do want to. I'm not going to plug this here, but it would be great if you came.
All right.
Yep.
Any other comments about this mailbag?
Nope.
No, that's a fun one.
All right. Who wants to read the next one?
I will.
Go ahead.
Ryo Ishigaki says, "Hey AAA team, I often find myself really liking side characters in anime. For example, Shizuru Harajima from Durarara and Jet from Bebop. I personally would love to see these characters with their own anime. What are some side characters that you would love to see get their own personalized show?" And I said Shizuru because I just want a show, just throwing vending machines at people. That's all I want.
I don't know about side characters. I know side boob, but side boob is nice. I don't know, side characters.
Side characters that I want to see. This is actually kind of hard.
I feel like we had this question, haven't we?
I don't know, probably. I mean, we've done about 1,000 mailbags since this podcast started, or actually more than that, probably. So we've answered every question known to man. But I would say Ein from Bebop because I'd love to see a corgi adventure, like just a cute adventure with a corgi.
Wow, dude, yes.
Like Corgi's Day Out. And
Corgi's Day Out.
And of course, my staple cliche answer would be Ryuji Danma from GTO because Onizuka gets literally all of the limelight, and Ryuji is also a pretty sweet character, but he doesn't really get much attention. So that's my answer.
I'm floored by that idea. Wow, that's it.
Which one, Ryuji or the corgi?
Ein.
Okay.
The corgi adventure.
Yeah.
That's like Bishimon from Noragami. It'd be great if she had her own like little side story.
Yeah, well, she sort of did at the beginning of the second season of Noragami because it's like completely about her for like 5 episodes, but I get what you're saying. She's also mad hot, which helps. Last mailbag, who wants to read that?
I can do it.
Go for it, man.
So this one comes from Joyriding on the Titanic. Well, that'd be not a good time.
Yeah, not really.
I don't really think you should do that.
You wouldn't be joyriding for long.
Bring your jetpack.
Sorry.
All right. This mailbag says,
just long enough to see Claire Danes naked, and then I'm out.
Is it worth it? Is it worth it?
Probably.
Okay. The mailbag says, I recently watched Devil May Cry Baby on Netflix, and I was impressed.
Devil May Cry Baby.
Yeah, that it was a show that it was shown in a completely unedited and non-censored format, something that has been beguiled adult and dark themed anime for a while. However, at the same time, I began to worry, and here is my concern. If it appears that Netflix is indeed heralding in a new wave of uncensored anime, funded largely by themselves and with an attitude towards anime creators of write and design what you like and don't worry about the censorship issues, could this possibly lead to an influx of graphic anime that is high on artistic value at the expense of plots and character development? Basically, will anime funded by Netflix become all style over substance and in effect dilute anime as an artistic medium? That's a lot of assumptions there. I had this worry as well for different things, like when Logan came out, the Wolverine movie, and it was rated when Deadpool came out,
I was gonna say Deadpool
movie, and it was rated R, and it was a massive hit. And then after that, Logan came out, and it was also rated R. I was kind of thinking, like, shoot, I really hope superhero movies don't all of a sudden all go rated R because of the success of these two movies, and that didn't happen. However, I feel like anime creators with Netflix might have more freedom than the people making these superhero movies, so this is possible, but I don't think it'll happen because just because your budget is bigger doesn't mean you go rated R. Your budget's bigger, it could be given to like a more beautiful portrayal of like the metaphor you're trying to portray.
This mailbag makes no sense at all, to be honest, to me. First of all, like, it reads as if anime today isn't exactly what this person's fearing, which is
it is pretty diluted, and it's one thing.
I mean, anime today, honestly, I'll be honest with you, it's a lot of moe blobs. Like, come on, we have a show today. We have a show this season about horse girls. I mean, can there be anything more useless in the world, but a moe blob show about horse girls? I mean, that basically is the
very
same.
Unique.
That's the same as Monster Musume or any of the other monster girl animes that have come out. Mindless action, stupid comedies. Like, I mean, you're basically you're concerned that that Netflix will make anime less original than it already is, simply because you're going to increase the budget and give directors creative freedom. Like, and I don't see how the graphic violence of like Devilman has anything to do with any of this. I mean, Netflix has like what, at least like a dozen original shows right now, and to my knowledge, not that only Devilman is horrifically graphic, and probably Ajin, but like,
yeah, I mean, I know where the listener is coming from.
I don't,
but I don't think there's enough information out there to show like a basis for this concern. I think we're okay.
I mean, the whole point of Netflix is that they're doing the opposite of what this person fears. Like, the reason why anime is so uncreative is because production committees want to paint these creators into these tiny little corners where they have to make anime, but they have to check all these boxes to make it popular for people so that they make money, which is exactly what you're fearing, which is already happening. And then Netflix is trying to break you out of that by letting the creators make what they want, which is the opposite of what you should be fearing. So the question makes, to me, honestly, maybe it makes more sense to somebody else, but to me, this question makes no sense at all. So,
I think it makes sense. It's just there's not enough basis for it.
I just don't know, how can there be a correlation between graphic violence and things being uncreative?
That I'm with you.
There's no correlation at all to any to that whatsoever.
Yeah, I'm with you on that statement. Yeah.
So.
But yeah.
Anyway.
Thanks for the questions, guys.
Okay. Yeah. That's good. So thanks for listening, guys. You know what? This was a fun episode.
Yeah, I had a good time.
I enjoyed this one. I enjoyed this one. It was a good time. Was it a good time?
Hey, Enzo.
Great time. You know why it was a great time, guys?
Was it?
Why?
Think about what's different about today than the last few episodes.
Oh, Kazuo's not here.
Oh, damn.
Kazuo!
You know what? I think I have some drops of Kazuo. You want to play some drops of Kazuo?
Oh, please play some drops. Yes.
Let me find some good ones. I think I have one. I have a good one of you. Oh, here we go. Here's a great one of
me?
Kazuo. Oh yeah, I have one of you telling you for me to diagnose your fetish.
Oh, what the? Oh God.
Oh, I have to play it now.
Diagnose my fetish, Kazuo.
And then here's one of Kazuo.
Mitsuki, I want to take my balls out and lube up your head.
Ooh. Kazuo telling me he wants me to lube up my head so he can stick his balls on my head.
NUDZPLZ. Nudes, please. All hail the Church of Mitsuki.
Running out of drops. Kazuo only has about 4 drops on our soundboard. So
wait, after so many years, shit, I'm never gonna have anything.
Well, I mean, I've shown mercy on all of you so many times that it's you know, like, I really am your savior. Your savior, probably. I am your savior from yourself.
Thank you, my lord.
All right.
For not embarrassing me on the airwaves.
So don't forget, you can go to the website and click the Discord button if you want to join the Discord. And if you want to be a smartass, you can still ask Kazuo where it is even after you find it. That would be great. Actually, you could probably join the Discord and then send him a private message asking him where the Discord is.
Yeah, do that.
That would be
That's
funny.
good. That's quality content.
Yeah,
right
that's
there.
quality right there. And of course, you can find us at our website, AAAPodcast.com, where you can join to get all of our additional content that we tirelessly record for you every week because we love you. And of course, you know, you can do the trivia on there and see what we have coming up for our next 4 episodes, because people still don't know that I post the topic and the reviews for all the next 4 episodes, so you can know what's coming up in the future if you want to, just in case you want to know. And of course, what are your guys' Twitters? We'll also do the Twitter.
Yeah, I'm at Enzo Badia. You can find me on Twitter, and that's also my Instagram. My Instagram is way more active than Twitter. But follow both and validate me, please. I don't feel validated.
Oh.
And Mandy?
I'm at Sarquindi01. I might have to spell that out though. It's SARQUINDI01.
Okay.
But and the name is just Mandy. But
all right, we'll see you guys next week. Peace out.
Peace out. Love you guys. Bye.